Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. I welcome you all today. A lot of you won't have seen me for a long time here on Cavi Consciousness. I wanted to just give you all a bit of a rundown of what I've been up to and share some of that with you. So, in the guinea pig world, we have a guinea pigs do a strange thing called chirping when they actually chirp like a bird, and no one understands why they do this. And the general consensus is that they're contacting the mothership. So today I have, as part of the whole new change that is coming, I have also changed the name of this channel to Mothership Contacted for that reason. And as we all know, the mothership got defunct. So there's been a few things that have been going on, which I'll tell you about very shortly. So what I'll do in the meantime is I just wanted to show you a little bit of what I've been up to on the other channel. And when we get a few people here, I'll start to fill you in on some of the more exciting news. So bear with me for 2 seconds while I just get the other window added in. Hello, Lena. How are you? Welcome. Welcome. Thank you very much. And I like the new name too. And it fits very well. And it fits with the guinea pigs. And it fits with the music. And it fits with everything that I want to do with this. It was a bit of a blur of a shopping trip. But I got to the park with my camera for the first time and took some photos and some video. And the owners of the horses were with them, so I'm going to end at about 4:30 and go over with little Miss Muppet and visit the horses. I got them a special bag of carrots just for them. So that's going to be a really good thing. So what I'd like to do just to start with before I share my news is just leave you with one of the most recent videos. So a lot of you will have heard me starting to sing on this channel where I initially did some guinea pig songs, and that has certainly evolved a lot since this lockdown happened. And part of that has been that I have really followed the singing and the songwriting. I've rekindled a lot of the instruments I haven't played for a long time. So this is one of my favorite songs, Inspiration Soup, which is very much responsible for what's going on at the moment, and I will explain a little bit more of that shortly. So I'm just going to leave you with this one briefly while I get my slippers on and get myself settled in, and then I'll explain all my exciting news. I've got inspiration soup, and I'm caught in a loop. That inspiration soup, when it all hits at once, many bulbs burning brightly as your mind expands. But how to start when you're in the inspiration soup loop? You start and you hop, tangents running wild. This branch, that branch, oh no, where's the tree? Oh, the inspiration soup digests and evolves. Start here, know that the inspiration soup, but it's not just soup, there are flavors. The cacophony dazzled your mind, but now it sees the threads. So take a big scoop from that inspiration soup. Take a breath as it dances, then comes out fully formed. Where is my creativity sandwich, which sustains while I hop the loop? Things that fuel inspiration, senses beauty and relief. Random acts of kindness, the lighting under trees. Those are moments that sustain the soul. Random delights, dancing to their own song. Things to soothe the soul, transmute the chaos to words, stirs the super fresh as the dance unfolds and twirls. Frozen words take form again, forgotten beats tap your soul. Back up. Hey waiter, there's Zoe, a fly in my inspiration soup. I don't need protein, just better words. I've got inspiration soup, and I'm caught in a loop. Okay, so that's Violet's Urban Sky-Fari, which has been the main focus of mine for quite a while. And because of the journey that I started here on KV Consciousness and then across to Urban Sky-Fari, I realized recently with everything that's gone on that this has been a huge passion of mine for a long time. So last week I applied for a Bachelor of Design Arts in Photography and Filmmaking, and I was accepted. And this week I start my degree. So part of doing that is I'm having a bit of a refresh of some of the channels as well, and getting a few things separated out and everything like that, because I'll obviously be doing a lot more, and the music has always been a big part of this and has definitely taken a larger part of it as well. Hello Stephanie, how are you? Did you go out into the chaos? I just got home, and I'm like, the number of times I've said get out from under my feet since I've got home to the animals is insane. And I'm really glad I got out and did it, but oh wow, it was a bit nuts. But I got to take my first photos and my first videos with my new camera, so that was good as well, which I haven't looked at yet. So we'll see how they went. But it was a bit insane out there. But that's okay. So on that note, I'm just going to put on one more of the ones from this channel here. And what I'll put on is not so much one of mine where I've been singing, which has been more of a recent progression, but probably a better example of some of the other stuff I've been doing. So this one was from probably a month ago now. So I've been doing, if possible, daily time-lapse videos and a lot of nature stuff on this other channel.
I bet you thought it was easy getting out there on your own.
Okay, let me chuck the link up as well if anyone wants to come and join me. Okay, did you have the same chaos? Because it was like, in part it was like there wasn't a lot of people around, but there was a lot too. And I ended up getting the bus home, and as I went past my favourite fountain, someone had put bubble bath in it. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm getting a phone call. Anyone that's going to call me just after I've started a live stream is not someone I want to talk to. Give me a second, everyone. I'm just going to have to check my voicemail now. It's been, what I find is the second I hit live, the faster hits, which it has, and it's been a bit nuts. So bear with me for a second, everyone. I'm just going to catch up, see what the outside world wants in this moment.
When you were busy feeding on life's darkest daylights. Don't push it any further, this is your high. Oh, and it's all on an angle as you try. I will break. See, now that you prove yourself in your golden cage. I think it's time that you prove yourself in your golden cage.
I apologize, everyone. Like, phone has not rung for 3 days, by the way. Oh, it won't be long. I just need to check my voicemail.
I bet you thought it was easy getting out there on your own. You left your friends and your family and your things at home. So go on, get your weapons and snack them to the sky. And see my young friend just how far you fly.
Okay, I'm back. And what annoys me is it's a public holiday here, so anyone that's calling from a private number on a public holiday, you would hope is
I think it's time to prove yourself in a golden cage.
anyway.
I think it's time to prove yourself in your golden cage. I think it's time to prove yourself in your golden cage.
Oh, cool. Yep, I do. I'll find you. That I can do. That I can definitely do. Okay, so on that note, I haven't sung for a couple of days, so maybe we should get a little music on. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just gonna stop that there for the moment. Okay, so a lot of you also will know that I obviously like my my skies and my color and my nature and everything like that. So I do a lot of that. But one of the things we've also been doing a lot of is the music. So that's been a really great part of it all. And it certainly helped to keep me sane through a lot of this lockdown and everything that's been going on as well. So, and to a large degree, if I hadn't sort of let that out, I wouldn't be about to start this degree I am as well. So what I thought I might do, at least seeing I'm here, is I'd start with a couple of my silly little guinea pig songs. I won't say silly little guinea pig songs, my lovely little guinea pig songs that some of which I will have already put on here. Some I won't have yet recorded either. So, so here we go. This one is based on I Talk to the Wind by King Crimson. Sent the guinea pig to the human. Where is my food? I've looked here and I've looked there and I've looked in between. I weak for my food. The sound of plastic excites me. I weak for my food. The human hand feeds me. The human takes care of me. I'm under the hay pile, looking outside. What do I see? There's a tunnel, there's a hidey. Explore time for me. I zoom around the world. My popcorns carry me away. I weak for my human. And look, here she comes, with lettuce for everyone. And on that note, my little girls are at my feet eating lettuce as we speak. And I'm sure at the very least I can get a good week out of them shortly. So I'm going to pop on just another one of my older sky watching ones, just to give you a little bit more of an idea of the sort of stuff I've been doing. So this one was in February of a particularly nice sunrise. It's a beautiful song by Deva Premal and Mitten. Now I will have used a lot of the Deva Premal music here and a lot of the meditation stuff. This is a particularly lovely song of theirs.
Wildflower,
yep.
Wild wind,
so on that note, I'm just going to quickly grab some food for the girls. I'll be back in a moment.
Singing deep within.
You will hear them weep like crazy in a second, because they are about to hear the sound of lettuce.
Come true. It's happening to me and you.
Okay.
Wild river rolling to the restless sea. What is meant to be will be, and it's a wild life. No matter what we do, it's happening to me and you, me and you. Where I'm bound, nobody knows, and I'm too far gone to take it easy. I feel the grass beneath my feet as it grows. I feel the wind in my hair as it blows. I got the courage to be wrong, and the strength of a rose. Strength of a rose.
When do you come silently for lettuce? That wasn't very good.
Wild heart in a wild world. The innocent eyes of a little girl. Wild spirit in a wild dream, passing through.
Hello,
this
Joe.
world.
How are you, love? Welcome.
A wild river rolling to the restless sea.
I understand, love. It's been lovely to see
White
you guys, so
cloud
I hope you do get a good
moving
sleep if you do.
A silver moon shining through.
On a side note quickly, just so I don't overtalk the music, I am going to do a request show. So I know, Joe, you're going to ask me for Green Door, so I'll do that one next for you. So I'll save you the typing. If anyone else has anything, let me know in the chat. The deal is, if I don't know the song, I'll at least look into the artist. So I've let a couple of other people know that often join me for a bit of song and singing too. So hopefully we will see some of them too. How about you, Stephanie? Do you feel like singing today, or is that more a tonight thing for you?
shining on me and you, me and you. Where we're bound, nobody knows.
Do you have to go out, Joe? Stephanie and I both have.
To take it easy, feel the grass beneath our feet as it grows. Feel the wind in our hair as it blows. I
did have a delightfully random conversation, though. I should tell you about that.
And the strength of a rose. Strength of a rose. Wildflower in a wild wind. Wild voice singing deep within.
Okay, stay in if you can. I did get, it's motor neuron disease today, so I got one of those super warm, fight the freeze beanies. It's like double layer when I was at the supermarket. I understand, love.
What is meant
and it's got to feel right or it don't happen, is the way I've learned.
No matter what we do, happening.
Okay, I'm just going to get my lyrics ready.
Me and you. Where I'm bound, nobody knows, and I'm too far gone to take it easy. Feel the grass beneath my feet as it grows, and I feel the wind in my hair as it blows. I got the courage to be wrong, and the strength of a rose. Strength of a rose.
Yeah, it's I'm not surprised. So Joe, Stephanie went out earlier with her dog, and someone had a massive dog that wasn't on the lead, and he was on his bike without a helmet with his dog, and it came at Stephanie's dog, so she had to grab it straight away, and it was one of those, you know, delightful Melbourne mornings.
Ever heard. So let's see what's going to come next. I do have the eye on the sky, and it's been fun. Anyway, hope you all have a good day wherever you are. Much love.
Anyway, so that's just a little bit of a show for everyone that hasn't found me on Urban Sky, you know, Violet's Urban Skyfire yet, what I've been up to. So yeah, so it's been it's cold but it's good today, and I've got to go do, you know, I bought purple hair dye. Okay, so a couple of things I did when I was out. I got some good semi-permanent non-ammonia based bright purple hair dye. So I'm going to put that in to start with and see how the color takes, because they were going to charge me $300 to dye my hair for me, and I'm like, nah. And they told me there was no way except for peroxiding my hair, and I knew that wasn't the case because there are a couple of alternatives. So I'm going to do that. And then I had a really nice chat with the bus driver, because I haven't been on the bus for ages, and he was saying it's been like, he's been running, you know, almost empty buses. But as I went to get off, he said, yeah, I was talking about how a lot of us have, you know, decided to do positive stuff. And he's obviously seen me out filming the sky and stuff. So I told him about my degree and that I'd picked up the music again. And he said, I've started building a tiny house. And I'm like, oh, I've been looking at doing that. So we had a really nice conversation about tiny houses. So that was one of those really nice conversations I wouldn't have expected, you know, so that was really good. So I'm like, right, so when I have questions, I know where to come. And he said, he showed me the design he'd done and everything too, which was really cool. It is it's in the other room. I quickly, because I had like 10 minutes to spare, so I ducked into Priceline, and I think it was Kiss, might have been the brand. And the only colours they had left, they hadn't sold out of, was 3 shades of purple. So I went for the darkest, brightest one, you know. I'm figuring with my hair. Hello, love. How are you?
Good, how's yourself?
Yeah, doing it's been one of those, as a general, exceptionally good with a few layers and not so great. That's probably the best way of putting it. All in all, good. Yeah. How about yourself?
Ah, good, good. Is that Stephanie, is that the one who she went for a walk with the dog the other day and I just said you should have a stick just in case another dog attacks?
Same dog, yes. So that happened.
Told
Yep, this
ya.
morning. Yep.
I told you that was gonna happen.
And it happens. It happens all too often. That's the really horrible thing about it. So,
Oh, is it all right?
well, luckily Stephanie scooped him up before the dog, you know. But it was a big dog. It looked like a
Mm-hmm.
Dalmatian or like a big, big
That's what I'm
dog. So,
saying. I've seen dogs like our dogs get hurt. That's why I said carry a
yep,
stick.
yep, yep.
Oh
And
my God.
And you have to become, you become painfully aware of every other dog in the vicinity when you're like that,
Mm.
because you have to. Because the thing is, this person was no helmet on a bike, probably on the
Mm-hmm.
way to get booze, with his dog running next to the bike, which is like a
Yep.
huge no-no. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and the dog was huge, yeah.
Yep.
And Stephanie's got, well, you've seen the dog, so Rafa's like
Yes,
a
it's like
Maltese
my
Shih
dog.
Tzu, so yeah,
Yes.
yep,
That's what I'm saying. I've seen it happen. That's why I warned her.
yep,
Oh, poor
which
thing.
sucks. So have you been
Yeah.
doing some of your studies and stuff? Is that what
Yeah, I've
and
been
the
doing,
guy is,
yeah.
you have
Been doing
been?
my psychic, yeah. I've been going back to my groups and that. We've been doing good. Tomorrow we're going to a crystal place.
Oh, nice.
I
Which
don't
one are
know
you
where
going
it's
to?
2 hours. Where?
Oh, you don't know which one you're going to?
No, it's about 2 hours away. A friend's picking me up.
Oh, let me know when you get back where you end up going. So,
Yeah,
because
big
I
crystal
reckon it
place.
could be one of a few places. I'll see if
And I'm going
um
to take some photos.
yeah. And what Stephanie said is right, that the guy was a jerk. Because the problem, these people, when you say anything and they're in the wrong, they freaking attack you. So
That's
it's
right.
like you can be doubly, and yeah,
That's right.
it's
So I said carry a stick with you. I've seen it happen.
yeah,
And I've seen actually a dog nearly jump out of a basket too, of a
yeah,
bike.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. It doesn't
So what's
surprise
been
me.
happening with you? What did you close? What happened with the other channel?
Oh, there was another. Well, you probably, I don't know if you know, but I've had so many rounds of trolls there. When they haven't been mine, they've followed people that have come into the chat, and I've been through it like
Oh,
5 or 6 times. And it was
oh.
about to start again, and something really yucky happened in my last chat, and I broke. And the person that got, anyway, yeah, I just snapped. I can't do it,
Do
and
I
I
know?
can't.
Do I know the person who's bringing the controls in?
Some of them, yes, but I've been through rounds of them, and they've kind of stopped coming. So,
Because I tried to
um,
warn you. Remember when I first come in and I sent you a
yeah,
message saying I need to talk to
yeah,
you? I tried to warn
yeah,
you who it was, and
yeah,
then I just got sidetracked.
yeah. Because I've had about 5 or 6 rounds of it from different people, and the thing is, these are not people that are actually there because of me. They've come because of other people, and I found out
Mhm.
again that my channel had been announced in a chat the other day, and that so and so was coming in there, and for everyone to come and hound me. And I'm like, I'm not going
Oh
through another round of this because I've already been through it so many times,
no!
and I just snapped. So that's
Don't let them in
why.
this chat.
No, so I'm gonna keep everything very different. You know what I mean? I'll do music
Mm.
on one, I'll do the more, chilled chat on another, and just have a bit of a,
And you
because
just got to
it,
watch who's on here.
yeah, yeah, and it
And I
just
know
turned,
some of them.
yeah,
Mhm.
and it's not, and people, when they do that, they'll often have 5 or 6 different accounts too, so it can
It's
it can
disgusting.
and it's got serious for some, some of this has entered people's lives.
Well, I
And
haven't been in the chat when the trolls have been in.
well, see, a lot of the time, I don't often talk about it, so I try to keep it all kind of in control behind the scenes, and I see the
Oh,
aftermath. I see
oh, I don't
the
know. I haven't been in when the trolls
yeah,
have been in. It's all been good since I've been in.
yeah,
Touch wood.
yeah. You have rounds of it too, so
Yeah,
I
I don't.
think
That's
we've
why I won't do a channel. I will not do a channel.
well, the channels it shouldn't matter so much but the lives are particularly they're so hard, and
Mm,
and as well, partly as well, I need to, it's not that I'm not going to do it. I'll just do it in smaller degrees, and
yeah,
um, and I'll just, it's just, yeah,
you just got to watch them people.
well, it takes the beauty out of it, and in reality, you know, um,
Just had good mods to get rid of them.
yeah. But the thing is, I've had a huge problem with mods, okay? So mods have
Oh,
banned people,
really?
blocked people. I've had people getting blocked that I can't unblock in my chats. I've had to take everyone's
Oh,
spanners off them 3 times in my chat, in varying
oh,
times over the life of me doing live chats. And I'm not saying anyone that's a
oh,
mod now is that way, because that's partly why I don't have a lot of them, because, um,
oh.
and yeah, and so, like, yeah. So
That's shocking.
that's made it really really hard. So and the hard part is I was doing this for the right reasons. I
Mm,
really wanted to create a positive space, and
yeah, no.
it's the moss to the flame thing too. It's
Mm. They got nothing better else to do. They're
yeah,
miserable themselves.
yeah. And the thing is, if they're prepared to go on other channels and hound those channels just because of someone that's entered the channel and nothing to do with the actual channel owner, then that's a really crappy situation. That's
It is.
unmerited as far as I'm concerned.
They should go after them in their own channels, not on ours.
Correct. Correct. Because,
Mm,
but anyway, it is what it is. So,
that's right.
hello, how are you, Conspiracy? Clay, welcome. Oh,
I
look,
feel
it's
sorry
been
for that
going
little
on.
dog.
Yeah. And a lot of it you don't necessarily see because it's the stuff I deal with behind the scenes and
Yeah,
stuff that I have to be. So, but there was yeah, nah, yeah. Way too much time on the hands, I
well,
would
I'm
agree
glad he
with
didn't
that.
give it up completely anyway.
No. And I'll still do it.
Mm.
I'll do a daily music stream, which I've been really enjoying doing the sing streams. Like they've been really
Mm.
fun.
Yeah, they
Um,
have.
and I think the theme thing works really well. So I'm going to keep doing them, and I'm going to keep doing
Mm.
them. I'll just do them, I'll vary where and what, and, you know, because before everything was going on through one channel, and that's way too many videos for people as well. I was,
Mm.
and so
Mm.
it's good to kind of split it and, have all the music on one and have all of the
That's
nature
true.
stuff on one and have all of the meditation stuff on one instead of having a mix of everything and all the
Yeah,
sky
that's
watching
true.
on one.
Mm. If you like that,
So,
you can go in that one. If you like that one, you can go in that one.
correct, correct, correct. Correct. Because I'm only going to be doing more of it. There's no way I'm not going to be doing more of it. So,
Yeah, it's good.
um, and one would hope I'm going to improve with it. But we'll see how we go.
No, you're all right. You're good.
mm. But it's just a real shit because it detracts from the whole, reason
Mm.
that we do these things to start with. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, on a side note, have you had to go out and about in our wonderful city in recent days
No, not
or
today. No, only to the bank and it was chaos. And you know what? They're all lining up to get in the Kmart, but there's nothing in Kmart.
yeah. Well, I think it's because of the long weekend. Everyone's probably come out last week and, done the big mad chop up again. This is everything I
I don't
thought I
know.
needed while I was in lockdown that I couldn't get, so I'm going to buy it just because. It'll be that sort of
Yeah,
stuff.
probably.
Like I very rarely buy hair dye, and there was only like 2 colors out of about 30 there in, a lot of the
Yeah.
ranges, and it's like, man, that can't be, you know.
Not much stuff there. Because I think some of the
No,
stuff comes from China, like Kmart
a lot
clothes and that.
does. And a lot's
Yeah,
import, and that's part of the problem because that's all going to be slowed too. So if it's going to get through at all, I imagine in some capacities. So
that's true. Yeah. Oh, well, I'm going to get going. I thought I'd come on for a quick chat. I only got 10 minutes in me. Oh, battery life, sorry.
oh, I'm glad you did. Well, I'm going to set
Yeah.
Green Door up for you next. So have you got time in your battery for
Yes.
that? Like you don't
Yes. I'll
talk
stay
because
up.
you're next off that. Well, why don't I do it for you right now because I got the lyrics and everything lined up for you
I
as
love
well.
that song. Yep,
So
I think I know it now.
it's a good. I know it's actually a fun song to sing too.
Yeah,
So
and it puts a smile on your face.
I do adore, and I agree. I mean, I agree.
Green.
And I've decided this is the green door, and Polly
I
comes
just
through
I'm
it.
laughing.
I know, right? It's perfect when I'm like, oh, there
Yeah.
you go. There's the green door. Okay, here we go. This one's for you.
Ah.
Midnight, one more night without sleeping, watching till that morning comes creeping. Green door, what's that secret you're keeping? There's an old piano and they play it hot behind the green door. Don't know what they're doing, but they laugh a lot behind the green door. Wish they'd let me in so I could find out what's behind the green door. Knocked once, tried to tell him I'd been there. Door slammed, hospitality's thin there. Wondering just what's going on in there. Saw an eyeball peeping through a smoky cloud behind the green door. When I said Joe sent me, someone laughed out loud behind the green door. All I wanna do is join the happy crowd behind the green door. Midnight, one more night without sleeping, watching till that morning comes creeping. Green door, what's that secret you're keeping? There's an old piano and they play it hot behind the green door. Don't know what they're doing, but they laugh a lot behind the green door. Wish they'd let me in so I could find out what's behind the green door. Saw an eyeball peeping through a smoky cloud behind the green door. When I said Joe sent me, someone laughed out loud behind the green door. All I wanna do is join the happy crowd behind the green door. Wish they'd let me in so I could find out what's behind the green door. There you go. Green door for you, Joe. Dave, hello. I hope you enjoyed that. Hello. We discovered what was behind the green door. It's a Polly. Have you had is your back better, love? Being the most important thing. And congratulations on getting to 500 subscribers as well. That's really exciting. So, oh, look, there's been a few things, yeah. And look, it's been going on for a while, and I was about to cop another couple of rounds of it, and I'm not prepared to go through it again. And so I'm still going to do the sky watching videos and the urban sky fiery stuff and everything on there. I'm just not going to do any live streams on that channel. I'm going to take a break on that level. So I understand, love. Thank you for joining us. Hello, Robin. How are you? I know, right? I'm super, super excited. I'm like super, super excited. Sorry, bear with me for a second. I have to navigate around the back here because Actually, let me just quickly line up another video. You walked better, that's good. Are you sleeping okay? Like, is it a bit better each morning when you get up? Or is it still hurting a bit?
Bye.
Okay, so I'm just going to pop another song on briefly because I need to, it's got dark-ish here, so I need to just turn the light on and so I'll only disappear for a second, so let me at least leave you with one of the more recent videos and at least a song short term. And this one's very much been, I think, where the world's been recently. So here we go. Here's Mad World, and I'll be back in a moment. All around me are familiar faces, worn-out places, worn-out faces, bright and early for the daily races, going nowhere, going nowhere. Their tears are filling up. And sometimes the inner alien needs a change of scenery. No expression, no expression. Hide my head, I want to drown my sorrow. No tomorrow, no tomorrow. And I find it kinda funny, I find it kinda sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. I find it hard to tell you, I find it hard to take. When people run in circles, it's a very, very mad world. Mad world.
Yeah, where's my girlies? I've got lettuce.
Children waiting for the day they feel good. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Made to feel a way that every child should. Oh, brilliant, love. Why don't I put that one on next? Sit and listen. Went to school and I was very nervous. How are the piggies, Robin? No one knew me. Hello, teacher, tell me what's my lesson? Look right through Virus in the bag. Hey, Dave. and I find it kinda funny. I find it kinda sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. I find it hard to tell you, I find it hard to say. When people run in circles, it's a very, very mad world. Mad world. Okay, give me a second, everyone. Your world. And my world has certainly enlarged recently. Certainly has. So, okay, so bear with me for 2 seconds, everyone. I'm just going to find Dave's new video. Give me 2 seconds, because my playlists, I'm in a different, I haven't moved playlists and all that sort of stuff. Here we go. There you go. You got the first on the list. So here we go. Just bear with me for a second. I'm going to turn the volume up and give it full screen and everything like that as well. I'm also going to put a link to this in the chat. So this is a new one from Dave. The earth is falling, the sky is looking for you. A lot of people on this channel may not have come across the brilliance of Dave yet. So here we go.
Pictures stir words in your mind. Everybody finds a different scene. Pictures stir words in the mind. Everybody finds a different meaning. Pictures stir words in your mind. Everybody finds a different meaning. Pictures stir words in your mind. Everybody finds a different dreaming. Words in the mind. Everybody finds, and some are scheming. Yeah. Pictures stir words in the mind and puts them on a different team and dreaming. Pictures stir words in the mind. Everybody finds a different meaning. Pictures stir words in your mind. Everybody finds a different meaning. Dreaming, beaming on different teaming. Everybody's right. They continue to fight with all their might. Don't matter. It don't matter who gets hurt through all the mind clatter. Sometimes it gets me down, but then I remember nothing left for me but to be sarcastic. I'm watching it break like rotten elastic. But I'm still gonna be fantastic. Pictures in the mind affect your dreams. Everybody has a different meaning and they're on different teams. What in the world and the universe could bring them together? What do you see? What's the one that can help you and me? What picture, what one will help you and me? No, there's no words on the ceiling, just things I continually think and feeling. I hear their squealing, I see their dealing. When When will they speak to me? When will they speak to you? Get us out of the zoo. Do you want Noah's Ark? Or will you board a shark? Do you know the difference between good and evil? Evil and good misunderstood. Da-da-da-da-da. Speak to me. Speak to me. Set them free. Set them free now. Speak to me. Speak to me. I've waited 57 years. Now.
Awesome. There you go. That was brilliant, Dave. Absolutely brilliant. Oh, here we go. This one was actually great too. This was just a bit of... This was Dave's one from, I think, yesterday. We've been having a lot of beautiful deer footage recently. And I love the rain and mud on the pavement too.
Don't walk. Don't walk. Two fawns. Look at that.
And I'm amazed how, like, this was just in the park you were hanging out in too. It's impressive. Okay, do you want to hear the guinea pigs eat, everyone?
We're right near the gazebo we were just sitting on. They're very alert. Look at them. Look how alert they are. Very alert. Oh, wow. Yeah, go over to Mommy. Look at that. All right, we're gonna keep going. All right, back with Mommy. All right, let's go. Check it out. We just came back from seeing the deer, and look what we got here. Our greatest ability as humans is not to change the world, but to change ourselves. Yeah, that's what it's about. Changing ourselves together. Yeah. Why is this not? There we go. And there's where we were.
Okay, can anyone work out what that sound is? Oops. Sorry, I mucked it up. That was the girls eating lettuce. I put the microphone on ASMR mode, and that was the girls eating lettuce. They're currently fighting over it. So every time you hear the thud, that's someone grabbing the lettuce and taking off with it. And of course, Bubble made off with it. Here you go, Momo. You want the rest of it? Yep. And it's one of my favorite sounds in the world. You go for a salad. I know, right? go, good girls. Okay, so I've given that. I know, and partly the reason for me getting this microphone more than anything, let me just change the mode, was so I could do ASMR of the girls because it's the best sound in the world. So on that note, for everyone this is obviously was my guinea pig channel, and I did a lot of ASMR on here with the guinea pigs, and it was actually a hard work, but I'm going to start doing every couple of days I'll do one of the guinea pig ASMR. I love the sound of them eating over stuff. It's just beautiful. And I'll start filming them a lot more and stuff as well. So we'll definitely be doing some more of the guinea pig ASMR. So I know, right? Their favourite thing in the world is what I call gratis, which is anything that ranges from grass to lettuce. So, and I want to layer the guinea pigs eating over and the birds from the park. I want them to be my backing vocals, if that makes sense. Best sound. I just love it. It's like the same sound as the horses eating grass, and when they rip the grass out of the ground, oh, that's one of those great sounds as well. So okay, so on that note, did anyone feel like doing any music, or did anyone have any requests or anything like that? If not, I might just do whichever one says me, which is, you know, potentially a lot of them. Okay, give me 2 seconds. Nice. Dave. How are you? Lovey.
Yeah, Lovey.
Oh, you make me happy, girl.
Check it. Say hi.
Lovey, lovey, how are you today? And her version goes meow 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 meow.
Boy is over here sleeping. Can you see him blended in with the dark?
Beautiful.
There he is.
Yep.
He's not causing trouble now. He's sleeping.
He's claimed his spot.
I have a rocking chair. See?
Oh, nice.
And what this does is my feet can go, my legs can go a little bit lower on this, slightly lower here. So it doesn't put stress on my hips like before. I'm actually able to cross my leg now. Oh, man. Yeah.
It'll potentially elongate your back out a bit too. Like it lets you stretch the muscle a bit more because you're not in that constricted all the time.
The arch in my back. Now, by doing this, it lets me arch and go back, you know, naturally. I sat in that soft chair too long for a while, and that concaved my back. And then I was getting up and noticing, what the heck is wrong? It tilted my pelvis too far forward from my back. Then I sat in that hard chair too much before that. So right now, this is the best thing. And I'm not overstretching. I walked today and then I did all right. I say today was my best day. So I was very happy. I was getting discouraged. So, but I just wanted to say, that's why I didn't come in. I didn't want to sit too long. I didn't want to do much. I did a little videos, but I also had pretty much plain ice. And I have some of this icy hot here. The kind with just menthol. I also have the other kind with the other ingredients in it.
Oh, we call that Denka rub here. There you go. So that's our... Yep. And you're better to give yourself the time you need to heal like this too, because the last thing, because if you strain it, it's only going to make the whole process longer.
Absolutely. It's like I was getting afraid that if I injure it while I'm like this, I'm going to go backwards. I can't go backwards. So my lady massaged me for a half an hour, all around my hip and everything. She used a roller. She used a small massager after that, and then she used her hands around the edges of the pelvis and the butt bones and the holes back in here, you know.
They're great, those rollers. They do a really good job.
and there's different size ones. And you learn how much pressure you want on each area. So, and at first it wasn't even releasing with that. It was like, that's not helping. So, but it was. I would say today was finally twice as good as yesterday.
Okay.
Um,
Hello, MJ Love. Welcome.
Yeah.
Have you heard
Yeah.
anything from work? Like you haven't got a call or anything saying you've got to go back,
I
or?
forgot to tell you guys that. Check it out. I called Curtis called me back 4 hours after left a message. He's delivering pizzas, which is a good thing. He's doing fine. Curtis doing fine. He said, "No, I haven't heard anything, but so and so, Barbara, she's Josh quit.
Oh my God. We don't give a toss, so much so that, we're just going to toss you in the bin. Stress gone. That's brilliant.
He's supposed to get married. He's telling us, I'm going to get married in June. Yeah, probably got marriage canceled too. He probably quit his marriage. But anyway, oh man, his head was just too big for the place. He was destroying it. He was destroying everybody. Emotionally, physically. The guy was messing it up. So now I guess who's going to be in charge? Tom!
Curtis?
Tom is going to be in charge. Tom, the supervisor, Tom.
Ah,
man.
yes. Right, I know the one you mean.
Just give him a call when there's a problem in the plant. You can count on him. He'll stop what he's doing, even if he's at the gym. He's never a task too small. Stop what he's doing, even if he's playing ball. If his leg gets broken, he'll ignore the pain. He'll hobble in on crutches or maybe just a cane. He hopes you call when he's shopping with his wife at the mall.
Yeah, that's the best time.
Yeah, remember that one?
Oh, that's brilliant news. So that's a whole layer of stress gone there. MJ's just saying, good to see you, Dave. I hope you heal quickly. Sending much love and light. So,
Thanks, MJ. Yeah, I need all that. Yeah.
because I think MJ, because it'll be getting late for all of you there.
Yeah,
That's really cool. So do you know any more about when potentially you're going back? So there's one potentially less layer of stress, which might have another slight layer depending on how that one goes.
We probably will be out for at least 2 more weeks, but nothing is known after. Yeah, so I have time to heal.
Awesome.
Yeah. And
that's really good.
I had to redo an eye appointment for just a checkup, and I had to drive to a place that's not as far as the other place, but still as far, where he blasted my eye. So I'm going to get checked up for re-blasting my eye, and he'll want to do a cataract on my other eye like he's been wanting to do. I'm still not letting him touch my left eye until he fixes this right eye. So he'll make an appointment, and probably 2 weeks after this appointment, he'll probably blast my eye again.
Yeah, because they mucked it up last time, and you're wise not to let them do the other one until one of them comes right too. Because if not, you're going to get left in a bad predicament. Laws of nature.
Yeah, this is a good eye left. I'm not.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Yeah. That's good. So, did you notice a little layer of stress go when you found out that Josh had left?
Yeah, I said that right away to my lady. I said, you know what? I just realized the stress, that certain amount of stress just dissipated. Yeah.
And I'm a firm believer you don't realize how much things affect you in a bad way sometimes until they end. And all of a sudden it's just like the clouds clear and it's like, whoa, I didn't realize that was taking so much of me, or.
Well, I can tell you where this back problem mostly started from the stress. I sat in that hard plastic chair. I was on my phone for 3 hours trying to do the unemployment. And I had to keep re-entering it, and it wouldn't take my submit. I didn't know what I was doing wrong. And I went up with my neighbor, my nice neighbor up over there, and she did it on a computer with me. And it was
that was nice.
3 minutes, and she went through it. I said, look, everything I did. It just wouldn't take my submit through my phone.
Yeah.
So, and then she printed out a paper for me so I had proof that it processed. So, and then we 2 weeks ago. So, yeah, so 3 hours on this hard chair sitting all tensed up, doing this. And that was the start of my back tightening up.
Well, I've been mindful of the same problem with chairs because I spend all my time in my lounge room in an armchair. So I'm kind of sitting like in a bucket seat. So I'm... It's not good for me. So I've actually been in the process of getting better chairs and elevating everything. And... because I'm going to be spending so much time now editing and doing all of this, like I'll be doing more of this, not less of it, if that makes sense. that and I've been
Well,
really mindful of needing that proper chair again. If not, I'm just mucking my back up.
right, exactly. And you said bucket. I have a bucket right here. And I temporarily tried this because it was lower.
Yep.
And it felt like it was good right away, but then it started to mess with my pelvic in another
Yep.
way.
Yep. It's
So,
the inverse. Yeah.
yeah. But when you get desperate, it's like, well, I'll try this. It's a little lower, you know? It'll
Yep.
put my, you know, you just get desperate. And I saw some couches laying out recently, and we saw some decent ones down a few blocks away. I'm like, that's tempting. I said, and I know my lady wouldn't like it. I said, what do you think about picking up someone's couch, even though it doesn't look good? She says, I wouldn't want it. I said, really, neither would I, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. There's a few things I'll pick up. I'll pick up little tables. I'll pick up stuff like that, but I won't pick up anything that's upholstered, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. So, and I get like we've got a really good policy here that most people, if they don't want something, they'll put it out on the pavement, and normally it's gone straight away. And if it doesn't go, then they'll get rid of it, you know. So, like myself, if I'm ever changing furniture or stuff around, I put it out, and it's always gone like instantly. And stuff like that's good if you want to use it outside. Say you want an outdoor couch, then I'd take something upholstered if I was going to use it outdoors because it doesn't matter so much. But
Right. I
not
wouldn't
all
want
of
to
us have the
accidentally bring
space.
bugs into my whole, so, you know, bed bugs
Yeah.
into my whole house. And oh yeah, I don't know if I said this. We managed to flip the mattress over. She
Yep.
cleaned it up real good the way she wants to. And there were no holes. Like on the other side, we had two bad springs that were actually jagged. So it was good.
Yeah.
So I'm laying on another mattress. I didn't have to buy one. But, you know, so
Oh,
it was,
that's good.
we put the foam on there. I put the foam on there to protect that spot. And it was so spongy, I'd sink into it. And I couldn't move out of the bed right. And that was throwing my
Yeah.
back out. So
Yep,
now
that makes sense.
yeah, it would kind of grab when you couldn't slide. Yeah. So now I feel like, okay, I got a chance now. I'm actually sleeping on a flat bed.
That makes a lot of sense. You know what? Lovey actually looks really happy in that chair. I bet she loves the slight rocking motion too. It's probably like next level great for her.
I'll tell you what, too, when it comes to getting pain like this, I mean, it was severe. My leg felt like it was swollen to touch on the skin above the knee on up through my thigh. I was that tender by the end
Yeah,
of it.
you don't want that.
And then if I moved it out of the way, it'd be like, it's fine now. It was weird. It's like the nerves were a certain way that made it really inflamed. But it taught me this the last few weeks. People around me can be in pain and I don't even know it. Mentally, physically. I was like, man, this is a lesson right now. You
Well,
know?
and I often believe we don't know what people are going through, and it's too easy for us to think that everyone's got their own problems in their own ways, their own, you know what I mean? We've all got our own. It may not be the same as ours, and you just don't know. And some of the people you think are doing the best are doing the worst, and some of the people you think are doing the worst are actually doing the best too. So it's like one of those you never know.
Well, it's something really interesting to prove me I must be better than I was all this week was we got home from a ride, went to the store. Oh, we actually picked a lot of stinging nettles. We got over a
Oh,
gallon
awesome.
back. We stuck it in 5 minutes. We picked it all at this one opening. So,
Awesome.
we came back and it was after 9, just got dark, enough to be dark. And then we came up the one street, blocked off. It's only a block away. Why is the street blocked off with a white van and all these orange cones? And I come around the block the other way, all these big trucks with the lifts on them. There are 4 giant trucks with lifts on them so they can fix lights and whatnot. And
Yep.
hi, Owen.
Hello.
So I said, I'm going to go out and park the car and walk around the block. So I parked at the bottom of the one street and I walked around and I had my camera on. I deleted it so I could make my song video, but I kept it. She's my lady. Don't bother. They won't want to see it. So I videotaped the whole thing. I asked the woman in the van. At first I went by the van and I got the license plate and everything and opened it in the back. And I said, so why is the street all blocked off? Because I wanted to see what was going on, you know. I don't
Yeah.
know if they're loading bricks in my neighborhood or what. I don't know. So, I don't know what kind of games he was like. So I walked up. I said, oh, yeah. I said, by the way, there's ones up there were tilting like this. They look like they're getting ready to fall on the main pike. She said, oh, yeah, it's a storm. I said, yeah, a lot of trees came down. Okay, thanks. And then I went up the block and I went past the trucks. And she said they were fixing a light. Sure enough, they were fixing a light up there, one of the main lights in the street. And back in between the garage ways and the homes, there was a telephone pole that they were cutting down the edge of it because the other one, part of it broke off or something. So I saw them doing that. So they're actually doing something. But there was nobody out there checking it out except me, this old man walking around in the dark. My lady was behind me. And she said, you sure didn't walk like you were crippled. I said, and no way I was going to let anybody know I felt a little crippled. I said, I walked through that neighborhood like I owned it, didn't I? He said, you sure did. I said, I'm checking out my neighborhood.
Yep.
You know? There were no other neighbors out there. And then I went by one other family that was, as I was passing around there, it's a young black family. And they had the kids out there. And they go around the block on a bike. I walked by them, they acknowledged me. And then I went down around the block again. That's all. Nobody was out checking anything out except me. I said, I'm not going to go back in my house not knowing what kind of crap's about to happen. So that's what I did. So
That's a good idea.
I
Hey,
felt pretty good about doing that because I didn't feel physically well, but I still did it. And then I felt better that I got through that. So that was my second walk I did. I did walk in the woods too with my lady at a new spot she got to go to. So go ahead.
yeah, I just wanted to share something briefly that just crossed my mind. I've been writing a lot in the last couple of days, and there's a couple of um, lines in this, for whatever reason, just came to mind. So I've been talking, obviously, a lot about, changing my life. And we've all been talking a lot, including what you were saying today, and this has been a very much a communal conversation about those bits of our lives or what our previous careers or jobs took of us, or however you want to look at it, where it was more stress than needed. Like when Josh left, all of a sudden that layer of stress goes and, it costs so much. So anyway, this is one I kind of wrote about that 2 nights ago, it would have been. Vistas open as my vision clears from a long darkness in a self-made cage. I subsisted. It's time to thrive. Let those forgotten dreams re-emerge, wiser, softer, bolder. Let her out for more than just self, shelved for too long but still intact. Idealism's whisper can still shape reality. Give it form as it dictates, find the beauty at its core. Let your eye take you, follow it. Dance with light and reflection as the show meanders on. Smile, smile, and follow the eye. So that's something I wrote the other day. And what I mean about, the eye for me is obviously the stuff I'm passionate about with photography, and you will be too, because it's the stuff we see out of the corner of our eye, and yours took the form of the sky and other things. We all have different, and you've got many other things in your life you do that with, but it's
the eye we see as value, the things we see as value.
Correct. And, so long. I subsisted for so long doing something I freaking hated. And I've spent decades fucking doing that. I think we all did. And there's a large part of us that we have to in this modern world. And that's partly, my idealism really got put out by my realism, and what life was as I found it. And I'm really trying to find a balance between the two, because I've still got to live in the world, I've still got to keep a roof over my head and eat. And Lovey, she's done the face plunge. You're the best.
But that's how we do. That's how we got to share ourselves like this on YouTube, honestly.
Correct.
Because we had this need at the workplace, and it was actually taking from us to be fully human at the best of our ability. It was stifling our humanity.
Yeah, I agree. And And I don't think a lot of us realized until we actually got a bit of a break. I don't think we realized, like, I think we knew it was bad. I didn't think we realized how bad it was.
And what you say right there, remember, I was ready to quit for the last 6 months.
Yep.
And I felt this coming. And the weird thing was, it was so bad, it already felt like my world ended before the quarantine started. Before this thing came up, I already felt like my life is done, man. I can't do this job anymore. I have to quit, you know. And that's what I felt. So when this quarantine thing, I said to the guys at work, I said, I already saw this coming. I already felt it. Because the workplace was an example of what the world had become.
I agree.
Yeah. It was an example. The stupidity and ridiculous that the workplace became was the world. It was all connected.
And look at the roads. I actually think you see how society works better on the roads than anywhere. It's feral. Everyone's bloody killing each other over parking spaces. You know, it has got unpredictable and downright dangerous. Your job is unpredictable and downright dangerous. The world as it stands is grossly inept, ineffectual, and incredibly dangerous the way things are now. And it's yeah, and
they treat your job like it's a situation of life or death. It's ridiculous. Yeah. There's no humanity. There's no human. I told my lady the other day, I said, see, in the real world, if everybody was working naturally, taking care of the land, there would be no struggle. Everybody would have something to do, raking, sowing seeds, gathering.
Correct. And there's enough for everyone too. Like there's no shortage.
And there would be no rush in working. It would just be a consistency. This is what we do. We care for the planet. And the only time people would rush, okay, here a hurricane is coming. We need to hurry up and blah, 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 and put it in storage. But jobs they made for people, most people, they brainwash the system into thinking, all right, how are you going to make 8 rounds on this machine and 7 on this one? Because the other guy got 9, and you got to at least get the. And it's like you're on this hamster wheel that's spinning 50 miles an hour now every day, and it's like, why?
Yeah.
It sucks the life out.
And we're also time poor too, and it's not like we're actually like it. Everything takes, like, prior to this took so much more of us than it used to as well. And I've been saying for a long time, why do we all feel like we've got no time either? And I think a lot of this stuff that we're all doing is the stuff that we always put off for one day when we had a better choice of what we could do with our time. And I know mine certainly was. It was one of those things that I thought one day when I don't have to worry, I'll do it then. Well, in reality, the time's now. So
I'm sure cultures, that formed their cultures with music and everything, they had their appreciated rest periods because they got their bounty together, They made it, they did their process, how the town or the city works together. They got their bounty. Now they have their music and things. That's where all healthy culture came from.
Yeah.
Now, we have idiot culture. And they wonder why common sense has become an offense to themselves.
I agree. Hello, 8 piggies in a pod. Welcome. Oh, nice. Is that skinny pig that you've got there? That looks like a skinny pig to me. Hello. I'm hiding back here. So there's 2 of my piggy ladies, which you no doubt will have already seen if you are here. So welcome.
I like your new face, Violet.
Thank you. It's my singing guinea pigs, this one. They look like they're singing. It's one of my favorite I'd actually done, like a piñata. I'd made a piñata out of grass and put it on a string above their heads. So that's where that photo came from. They were actually trying to get the it was one of my favorite videos actually. That was a really cool one. Nice. So it is a skinny pig. Nice. So Mel, you all know Mel. Mel has a skinny pig as well, a couple of skinny pigs, which you will have seen them there as well. Sorry, I need to just grab something off the bench in the other room. I will be 2 seconds, Dave. I apologize. I'll just be a sec.
I'm gonna get in a ring. Actually, I didn't eat all day. Oh yeah. We have one more of these.
Okay, I'm back and I've got some guinea pigs coming here. So let's see if we can get you some wheats in the meantime. Yeah? Yeah? Okay. I grabbed some lettuce for the girls while I was in there as well, so they're happy.
Well,
Yeah, I wish everyone could do just what they loved. And look, this is when cultures really go through their big shifts, like, you know, your Renaissance and this, that, and everything else, is when you change the focus a little bit. You focus a little bit more on the art and the cultural side of stuff. And for me, that also means how we relate to each other as individuals too. You know, it's not just the creation of stuff. It's the I mean, look at your life, Dave. Your life has become art in motion since you stopped working. You have been on fire. You have been creating. Your music abilities have gone through the roof. You've been writing fantastic stuff. You've been doing what you want to do with your own time. You've had your own version of that as well. Your voice has completely changed. Like you've started singing, if that makes sense.
yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. I've been enjoying it. Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it, you know. That's and I dare say you're probably feeling a damn sight better for it as well.
Yeah, yeah. And that song there, I forget where it started from. The pictures stirred by words. I just sat down here, and my lady walked over there or something, and I think I made a comment or something, and then it started with one sentence, and I just went with it. I started singing, and then I don't know where it comes from, and then when I go with it, it just feels comfortable, and that was just one take. Take. I didn't grab any maracas, nothing, and I had the cymbals still sitting here on this lamp, so I was like, well, that'll be a good banger, you know.
And that's the beauty of it. It comes out fully formed, and it's more an intuitive kind of organic thing when it happens that way. It really is. And just on a side note, I think what Olin says here is really correct. And I dare say, Dave, you're the same way as me. When he says he's not afraid of working hard, I am an incredibly hard worker. I have worked my ass off in my life. And I know, Dave, you're probably the same. We give 1,000% of ourselves when we do it. And we've probably all, you know, and the thing is, I'm going to apply that same thing to what I do. And that's in part why I think we're also the way we are too, because there's a degree of conscience that comes with that as well.
Yeah, there's working hard, and then there's ridiculous. It becomes
correct.
Ridiculously inhuman. It just does. It's
correct.
Ridiculously inhuman. There's no denying it. And then when you notice, this is ridiculous.
Correct.
And I'm in physical pain. I'm in emotional pain. Why? Because my speed level was set on such a ridiculous, inhumane. This is not how the human emotional body and mind and spirit functions properly. It doesn't function properly. Because
it costs a bit of your soul that way. You know, it does. It costs a bit of your soul. And that's really shouldn't be up for negotiation.
I said plain out to the guy a few months ago, I said, the job, I said, it's actually making me sick. I said, my cortisol levels are so high you wouldn't believe, you know.
Yep.
So, and that's what, and it's just, so yeah, I'm glad it's off for a bit.
Yeah.
And when I go back, I'm not going to go back the same way. And he said, so guess who's going to do it since Tom's there? Tom's going to do it. And I said, that's who should have did it before. Oh, that's right. But they made Josh do it because Tom was the supervisor, and Tom told the other vice presidents what was needed in the company, with common sense wise, because he was supervisor and a worker for so long.
And they decided they knew better and went for another solution, and it blew up on them and ended up backfiring, and now they've gone with a solution they should have taken to start with.
Grips, all kinds of grips. No, that shows it. No, I know why I'm doing it. I know why. So, but Tom, I said, Tom works as hard, but he knows everything that's real, and he isn't ridiculous. So he knows the point of working hard, but he also knows ridiculousness. So
Yeah.
he won't go there because ridiculous is already pushed on by these people. So he
Yep.
knows that we're not going ridiculous because it's counterproductive. So
Yep.
yeah, that's the thing about Tom. So we'll be having some more good poetry about him, and we'll have a few more Josh poems. But I was predicting that Josh was going to self-destruct, or I forget how I worded it to Curtis about a month before we closed.
Well, Jimmy the Jet Trail Prophet put his prophetic skills to the work to the fun house of doom as well.
There was a
So
little bit of doubt too. The prophet had a little bit of doubt this time because it was so painful. But the realization was there. This can't exist much longer. This evil cannot exist much longer. But the other two predictions of the other two vice presidents were easy. But Josh was like, how is he hanging on? This is not right. He's got to go. He's got to go.
yeah.
But it was almost unbelievable. But I did focus my intent to he was going to go next.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, I'm sure other people have these kind of people, though.
Oh yeah.
Keep their power so long. How they fool people so long.
Well, yeah, and I've got a great history in that little delightful disaster in businesses. So I know, and this is what I tell business owners, okay? I say to them, you don't know until this person has a day off, and watch what happens. If the place all of a sudden flows really smoothly and everyone's happier, you know the person was the problem. If everything falls apart completely, you know that they did a lot more than you realize. And because often when they don't quite know, that's how I would advise, because that's how you tell. Watch what happens when they're not there. That tells you everything.
Yeah.
It really does.
He slowly escalated all his graphs, and this graph means this and that. And then every day we were being rated by graphs.
Mm-hmm.
And every day different things happen. One line break causes so many problems, and then if you get a second one, or if you get a bad tooling on the other, going on, it's ridiculous. A graph. So you're going to need to do this. This is just to let you know where you're at. I know where I'm at. I'm in hell here.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me
And
know
the
where
graph ain't gonna paint it pretty, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that you showed me that graph, I know what I need to do today since I saw yesterday's graph. What the hell are
You were
talking
KPI'd within an inch of your life, is what you were.
about? Oh, man. What I wanted to do that one elf. Schleffer. Elf hands like an elf. Elf hands, put them on a shelf, Elf hands only
that's
care about
brilliant.
themselves. Oh, yeah. His name was Dave Schleffler. Just call him Dave Schleffler. He'd be at the board. Well, we're going to have more quality here. He was Slosh's sidekick. He got the board, same jacket, zipped up with the special collar on. And these little elf hands. Just little elf.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. So, yeah. The elf was second in command. I don't know. Little helper.
What, second in command to his own ego?
He keeps snooping. The elf comes in like, you think everybody else is gone. Josh is gone, but the elf, Dave Schleffler, he stays for an extra hour and he pops in and out looking over the machines. Dave, you need something? Oh no, I just, I see you there peeking over the machines.
Yep.
Oh,
And I agree with what Olin says here.
Yeah.
They're going to be a lot of the ones that I'm going to university with, by the way. And they're going to find me a really strange woman. By the way, I am going to have purple hair by my, by Thursday. So I'm like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it properly. That's what my inner alien dictates on this current situation. So I'm going to listen. Because you know what? It got me here. So who am I to argue?
Yeah.
who am I to argue with my own, you know?
Your own inner teacher.
Correct. It knows better than I.
I mean, I like that. Yeah, you're in the world enough. Looking from yourself, you see how many people are disconnected because of the way they see from within, because of
Correct.
words, phrase, and everything else. It just goes tireless and futile until you see that we're all the same. We're all
Yeah.
looking from the same point within, and we're all human.
Yeah.
We don't even know our full potential, and we even argue over that, or stifle each other from that.
Yep.
Just supporting each other and learning a bit from each other and finding the people that complement one another to make the best life they can,
Yep.
to have respect for life and each other,
Yep. I would agree with that. And that's where our future is, I believe. That's where we find it, through realizing our commonality and realizing what we already have, not things we don't need. And I've been thinking about this a lot, obviously, with my degree coming up. And my focus, I really want to be in all of this, is not creating new, but actually capturing what's already going on under our nose. What I call Mother Earth TV. We've got
yeah,
to reconnect with what's here, and that includes each other, and that can be through discussing things we're passionate about, stuff we believe in. That's the real, already happening
the
stuff, not
now.
the
We're connected to the now in front of us. That's what we're actually
correct,
creating with,
correct,
not the past. We can learn from
correct,
the past, but we have to connect with the now, with everybody who's in there.
correct. And I'm going to do a little series. I've decided today, when I left the house, I'm like, we all get so caught up in going and exploring. Why don't I do a little series on everything I found within a block of my house? How many of us have beauty around us that we drive past or walk past every day? How much of us, and many of us, have really cool things within a block of our house that we don't realize? So I'm going to do that a couple of times. I'm going to go a different direction. I'm going to do the, 2 blocks, the blocks surrounding me, and I'm going to go for a walk around the block and see how many beautiful things I can find right there. And it's like everything. It's like that's the whole, all of it. All this stuff we need's right under our noses. It's right there happening. Do we notice? So, and it's like you with what you were saying of your writing today. You were there in the right moment. It came out fully formed. That was
You just
your
catch
version of capture. Yeah,
That's everybody's gifts are when we're in the spot to, connect with it. It's not running far away.
yeah.
You don't have to run far away.
And one of the best ways I heard this, and this is going to be one of my mission statements through all of this, was Van Gogh said this. And his quote was, "If one truly loves nature, one will find beauty everywhere." And I agree with that. And that's what I want to capture, the beauty that's already there.
Wow.
Yep. Correct.
Yeah.
You're in the zone. You're at one with nature, you're at one with your surroundings, you're at one with yourself. You're aware of the breeze around you and the sun, but you're not consciously aware of it either. It's just part of the greater dance going on, for a better way of putting it. Hello, Lovey. Hello, Lovey.
People have a hard time, taught that if you're not perfect, then there's something so bad, and not realizing that it's perfectly imperfect, like you said.
Exactly.
It's accepting that we're imperfect that makes us create better of
Correct.
ourselves. That's the in there. You find. So what can I inside you says, what can I do to make it better? What can I do to make it better?
And that's the desire to evolve, the desire to learn, the desire to do things better, the desire to break our cycles, the desire to find a way we can get through the chaos of our jobs and daily lives with our head held high, whatever it is,
With even with getting old.
Yep.
I mean, there's a point where, okay, now if my body is going into regression, which I feel it is now, it's the last few years, like there's an acceptance in that. So now I'm going to cope with being the best I can be at this stage.
Yep. Correct.
So it's not about, I'm going to finally be Superman. No, you're going to be super in whatever form you continue to be, best you can be with the gifts you have at that time. This guy next door, when he was living here, he's 94 years old. I told him, man, you're the toughest guy in the world to me. He said, oh, look at you jumping rope. I wouldn't want to mess with you in a dark alley. I said, man, you're a whole lot tougher than me. He had to just get his little folding chair out and walk his coffee across the room and make his biscuit. I watched him. I said, well, no, I have to do it. This is my exercise for the day. Him carrying he was shaking, spilling his coffee. 2/3 of his coffee would be gone by the time he got through. But he said, I have to do it.
Yeah. Because if not, I lose the third that I get too. That's part of it too. You better get a third of the cup than none at all.
Yeah. But he knew that I can't just, I'm not going to die with I'm going to do the best with what I got. Call it what, my God-given abilities or whatever. I'm thankful I can get up and still make my coffee even though I'm shaking.
Exactly.
And, I watched him do that.
And I'm a firm believer in life, lose it or you use it or you lose it. And that's with a lot of this music for me recently. It's been like, I want to utilize that before it starts to go. Because if I leave it dormant and latent for too long, it's going to dwindle. I'm going to lose it entirely.
What you set out to do with a conviction,
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
You used your gift. You didn't hide your gift. You said, I'm not going to bury it. No, I'm going to use what I have.
Yep.
What's within.
Yep. And I want to bring it all together. I want to incorporate my writing and the music and the filming and all of it together. I want it to be a gestalt. I want it to be a combination of everything. The way I look at it, and it's like when you were saying about writing that song earlier, and that one of the instruments you needed was just there and it felt right, so you picked it up. That's what it's about for me. It's about, you can put a few tools around you, but in the moment you'll use them differently and you'll use them as you need to, and I want to be able to incorporate it at all. Yeah,
that's the magic. The magic comes together like that.
Well, if not, it's one-eyed, isn't it?
Hmm?
If not, it's one-eyed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And a lot of people that happens to as well. They stop and all of a sudden everything dwindles.
I've seen that. And I've the people I've seen that with too, there was a janitor. He had Parkinson's, but his job kept him doing routine driving, and then the very year that he retired, he died within that year. And I've known a few other people like that. And some people need it's a healthy routine to them. If it's a healthy routine, they're happy with it. It even helps,
And
they like but now you can't even socialize on the job, so it's different.
I agree. And think of it this way as well about keeping ourselves busy. Every single one of us made a choice that most other people didn't make. Most other people have sat on their ass, played video games and watched movies and done frickin' nothing with this time except for eat shit, get drunk and justify whatever the fuck they want to do, and potentially gone out and taken it off on each other. All of us, we've used that well. We've kept ourselves busy. We've given ourselves some time, but we've also, we've done really well with our time,
I've seen that on clips, on video clips, and I saw the brainwashing coming in. I was watching YouTube and now the corner, I might as well blah, 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 and watch this blah, 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 and catch up on the blah, blah, blahs. And it's like, yeah, you're going to do a bunch of shit. What a waste. But yeah,
Yep. And probably enjoyed it and probably was at peace within himself as well, which a lot these days, myself for a long time didn't have. And you're right. Yeah, so many people live in a virtual world instead of being out in reality. And we could have all done that to kill time, and we didn't. And yes, we have spent some time on YouTube, but we've spent it in a way where we're actually interacting with each other and we're sharing the positive parts and we're trying to provide a at least a positive way or a path forwards, or at least some way of venting and dealing with it in a positive way for ourselves. So, and that's come out in different ways with different people. But that's
And
been
I've seen that. I've seen that with all kinds of channels. People that I partially agree with, but they're all, they're all able to get out their say.
yep,
They're all, like you said, the free will and how you think. You're able to now express it on YouTube, and then we get into the cheerleading sections, that
mm-hmm,
play or not. But what I can't help see as I get older is the connection is there for everybody, and they just don't see the simplicity of it.
and that's for me why the focus for me is what's already going on, reminding us and reconnecting with what's going on right under our noses.
Yeah,
And that is the best parts of humanity and the best parts of nature. And that's already there. That's what's going on. That's the important stuff.
what's going on doesn't care what religion you are, what
Nope.
color you are.
Nope. Nope.
And that's the thing that says this is the chance that people can get it together if they see that this has nothing to do with religion, nothing to do with color, and it shouldn't have anything to do with sexuality either.
Correct.
It's humanity,
Correct.
survival. There's no. Well, if we have a chance to go to Mars or some other planet, we take care of this planet right. If you think you're going to re-inhabitate Mars or some other planet, we'll go there and see what we can do. People can't even last a week without toilet paper.
Yeah. And I agree with what Olin says here, that it's hard to meet people that think like you locally. And I've been the same way. And I gave up on humanity for a very long time because of that reason. And it was actually through YouTube and through the guinea pig community on this channel that I actually finally started to feel some people that made sense of me a little bit as well. And we're all like that for each other, I would hope as well. I believe we all kind of make sense of each other, if nothing else, to realize that we weren't so alone and so freakish or so whatever, to realize that we're not the only ones and that we're not
That's
alone.
exactly what happened to me. When I watched the sky watching, and I saw these other people noticing the sky. That's where it started for me. But I'm much more than watching the sky.
Yeah.
And then when I saw you guys, and I had other stuff on my stuff that just on my channel that people weren't getting, and it's like, man, is it only a sky community that can have? I have a whole lot more inside of me wants to get out. And then by starting with your chat, I saw a whole lot of mixes of people, and I was able to bring so much more out that I never could, because I felt stuck in just the sky watching community, because they're all divided too. They're still divided. So this was the best thing for me, meeting you and getting on your channel with it. It was people from all over different states, countries.
Likewise. And you've greatly shaped and formed my world and my path as well. Like, I think we have played inspiration ping pong exceptionally well. Let's put it that way. My life has certainly been a lot better for it. And we've all got so much to show and give, and show and tell for adults. Hey, why the frick not?
Yeah.
Because you know what? They're the things that are our commonalities. They're the things that we're and that's for me, that's real life. That's what it's about. It's not about
that's what resonates. See, that's what resonates. I can take a verse and say, unless you become like little children, you can't see the kingdom of God. Now, see, sorry to say, but no religious group can claim that, because whoever wrote that knows that's how it is. That is how it is.
Yeah.
But that's why I say there's a lot of things in the Bible that are universal truths, or any other in the Quran. There are universal truths.
Correct.
But it doesn't mean that it's all pieced together correctly and somebody molded it and it's just so.
Well, and that's that beauty of what you were talking about before. We all see things differently in our mind. A picture will be interpreted different ways.
Yeah. That's exactly what it's about.
And I know we've both said this many times, there's many paths to the same place. And I think what's really important to me, it's where it's the commonalities and not the differences. And, if you want to interpret it in a different way, that's your free will to do so. You know what I mean? As long as you're not telling me I'm wrong because of mine,
Right.
or
Right.
that I'm going to go to hell because I'm not this, or whatever it is. There's many versions of that.
And, and
Um,
and the part of the song, when I briefly went over the song again, I saw how much I was saying in that song. And when I said, speak to me, right? And you heard it in my voice, I'm I'm like my soul is begging to speak so we can all understand everybody. You see?
yep,
Speak to me.
yep,
I beg you to speak to me clearly.
yep.
Stop putting it in a little doctrine over here and putting people in this over here. Speak to me. So when I say that, I'm speaking to the universe. What will
Yep.
it take? What picture will they see? Do they need to see? The
Do you want
picture
to know?
is you're all humanity. No, it's not a
Correct.
picture of this guy or that guy or this religious leader or this politician. No, I know a lot of people are going to think that that's what I meant.
Yep.
No, it's not about the picture is clearness of humanity being able to see what we need to do together. So that's why I
Yeah.
said, speak to me, speak to me. But I know that that'll be misinterpreted, but that's fine because the message is still going to come through. That
I agree.
it's about communication. It's about understanding each other. It's the best we can.
Correct. I
Right.
agree. I agree. And I think it was a really beautiful way of putting it because, we are
Well, the emotion was real when I sang that. When I sang speak to me," because I
oh,
get
that's what I was going to say.
what?
Sorry, just one thing that came to my mind when you were saying that is one thing that I've learned to incorporate in my conversation with the universe. And this is what took me a really long period of time. When I have my conversation, I ask for wisdom, insight, and guidance in a way I can comprehend. Because it's all
Ah,
very well asking the questions, but if you
yeah,
can't comprehend the answers.
there's
So
no
I've
wisdom.
spent a lot of time learning to communicate in my inner alien's language so we can talk on the same page. Because if not, we're speaking different languages. Hello, Sasquatch. How are you, Mark? I hope you've had a good day.
Sasquatch.
And that's in reality what it is, because we're given pictures. It's up to us how we interpret it, and that's where the conversation comes in. That's where the
Right.
and what we do is our way of trying to understand that for ourselves and to give that word and form and because a lot of what we sing and talk about aren't things that are so rational. They're not so easy to quantify and put in context. So and it's like, with what you were saying before, it doesn't matter how you interpret the picture as long as you see it.
And the more nurturing it is for more people, you know what you
Yeah.
do. Because like I say, pictures stirred with words, and this is what anybody can do, and they can do it positively or negatively, and the news media especially can do the same thing. And leaders can do good or they can do bad with it. It's pictures stirred with words.
Yep.
I can open a book and I can make you believe a book a certain way. I can tell you this and that. I could make these laws here. I could tell you how to wear a mask and how far to stand apart for how long.
And
It's
there's a
all
reason.
pictures
Yep.
stirring with words.
And there's a reason they say a picture speaks 1,000 words too,
Exactly.
because and that's yeah, and that message to a large degree has been hijacked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I want to put the positive back in, is what I want to do. I want to put the positive in there. I want to.
If it's to the point where common sense is gone, there's something wrong. See, and that's what we're
Correct.
seeing.
Correct. Correct. I would agree with that completely.
Yeah, I made
I
a
would
little
agree with that.
common sense becomes an offense at our own expense. It's time to see through the invisible fence.
Yeah.
See true or see through the invisible fence.
Yeah.
Because we're controlled by a lot of it is mind control and allowing things to happen because less people are seeing the truth and they're following along with things. They're just
Well, hence in the poem I just wrote, and I was in a self-made cage. That's it. We box ourselves in. That's that's the one-eyed farmer. The lines we draw we don't understand, and I did that to myself and got out, and we all did on some level. So, and that's how that's how, and that's getting worse than it was when I was growing up. And maybe in some levels that's why I've been drawn to doing what I want to do, because and why I was drawn to doing YouTube to start with, because I wanted to put something positive out there. I wanted to make stuff first and foremost that I'd want to watch myself, and something that at least you know put a positive slant on something, or um uh yeah, and I think we've
Breaking the
all
mold.
achieved that in our own way.
Yeah, breaking the mold. I mean, it's okay to
Correct.
go with the flow for a little bit, you know,
But
but
you
when
got
you
to
see,
learn the flow.
yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Okay, practice social distancing for a little bit. But there's a point when the common sense gets out of proportion, and you should be able to see that something is wrong here. And I've done my job at following, going with the flow a bit. And then you're looking for the wisdom now, and you see other people getting this, hopefully. And I think more people got it. I think around here, a lot of people saw that this is really bullshit. This is really, except for the guy that sits in front of my steps every day. But
Yeah. Who's your
all the
neighbor?
towns around me, I'll tell you who got sick though. Few people got sick, supposedly with COVID. But all the towns that I've visited, there's nobody coughing, there's nobody's dying, nobody's on the streets coughing or sneezing at all. It's crazy. This is the one year where nobody coughs or sneezes, but everybody is in a pandemic, deadly
Yeah.
pandemic. Nobody's sick. Up halfway upstate, they're not sick. I've gone all the towns around here. The 20-mile radius. There's nobody sick. Everybody's just doing their thing. So the only person that got sick was a few that I know of. Was a few people in my parents' complex, and they got better within 2 weeks. One stayed home and got better, was supposedly had COVID. The other one, because they had a cough or some lung problems, went to the hospital, and they stayed there for about 2 weeks. Came home, they're better. Then the other person was, my mom has a friend of mine too. She was like an aunt to me. She had cancer, lymphoma. So she's been treated for about 4 or 5 years with this. So her immune system's already low. Well,
Yep.
she had a blockage in here somewhere. So they had to go and do an intestinal blockage. While they did that, they had problems with it. They had to go in, and they had to go in for a third time. They put her, my mom said, they put her in the room with a 98-year-old woman that was dying of COVID, okay? That's where they kept her next to
Oh,
after
that's
they
so
went
smart.
in her guts, and she's a cancer patient, continually recovering cancer patient. They put her in there. So while she was in there, she didn't have COVID. She got it while she was in the hospital. So she said she got so sick from it, whatever this COVID actually is,
Yeah.
like really bad flu-like symptoms. And then she got better, and then now she's back home. But my mom says it's probably because they went in, they irritated so much stuff in her. She's probably in so much pain too. Her resistance is low from chemotherapy and whatnot. So she got whatever this old woman had. In the bed next to her.
That's
Stupid.
yeah.
But there's not a pandemic going on in the neighborhood. So there, that's all I know. I didn't see any sick people around me. I'm waiting since February. The healthiest bunch of people around here for February, March, April, May, June. For 4 months, everybody's been healthy.
Yeah, it's nuts,
Smoker.
isn't it? It's nuts. And yeah, we went to look at doing a couple of things yesterday. We can't go to the National Gallery. We can't go to the museum because they're all closed. There's quite a lot of stuff that's
But they opened up some courts. They opened up some ball courts the other day. I showed them a video yesterday.
wow.
Yeah, that was the video. I did the cell tower ones is the one before the last one. So I thought they're exchanging balls. Oh, that's pretty funny too. I want to waiting around.
Yeah.
They're on furlough. They're waiting around.
Yeah.
That's what I heard from one of the other guys' videos too.
Yeah.
Even in Australia, they're waiting around.
Yep.
So
Yep.
And this guy across the driveway from me, oh, no, people don't believe it. They don't believe it because they don't see it. But in them hospitals, they're having this brainwashed. But the video, if you care to watch it, was called "Cell Towers While Exchanging Basketballs."
I watch everything of yours, Dave.
So that was cell
There's
towers.
not a chance I haven't watched one of yours.
And I said, it starts to calm down. I said, calm down, everybody. I said, going into this next page. We're going into the next page. Look, they're exchanging balls now. They're exchanging balls. The playground is now open. But when the sirens were going off, I was making fun of like Fosse, the way he talked about the virus. I said, folks, it seems this is the sky prophet alarm going off here. And we also have the lanternfly nymphs have breeded this year, and they'll be hopping along, spreading the disease. And the lanternflies will be coming out at night to spread the virus, and the mosquitoes will be next. Calm down. Calm down. Just calm down. Just calm down. And then the siren goes, Gets you go cry. I said, look, they're exchanging balls now. In the second phase, folks. We're in the second phase. They're exchanging balls. Playgrounds are opening. So I left it with positivity, you know? So it was,
Yeah. And that's, humor and song is often the best way. And it's, we've said this a few times. Some of the stuff you can't talk about, you can sing about, you can jest about, but you can't always talk about it. So, and that's often the. I love the fact that Lovey looked like she was looking where you were pointing, and she's like, "What's going on here?" Yeah. Is that hand gonna come near me to pat me?
yes, we set her drinks on my head, on her head.
Oh, she's adorable. She's happy. She's happy.
Boy is I know I shouldn't drink soda, but it's funny. Boy is afraid of soda.
The can when the sound when it opens.
Here, have some. Sheesh, no. What's that hissing, scary stuff? Yeah.
That sound is one of the few sounds when you open the top of a carbonated, like a soda or something like that. That's one of the few sounds that freaks the guinea pigs out, because it's that, quick release of, air, that it's one of those noises that they always just like. We got used to the machine that goes bing. That took us a little while, and we got used to that one. We're used to the vacuum cleaner. We're used to everything else, except for that one. And the cowbell. The cowbell's the only instrument they don't like. And none of them are very keen on the clarinet, by the way.
Check it out, Miss Lovey. How are you going to react to the harmonica? Let's show them how you like the harmonica. Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Just for a moment. Let's say she doesn't like the harmonica. We're going to see how she reacts. She'll be back in just a second. So here is the harmonica. Is this the G or the C? Let's see. This is the C. Here. Show Wow, it's how you like the harmonica. Come on. Here. Oh, there we go. All right, sit here. She knows I have it already. Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh. She thinks it's a train or something.
Yeah, instantly looking. Where's that? Yeah.
Get the heck out of here with that.
I could really mess with her and send another one down the Here we go. Let me grab mine.
She's walking out into the bedroom now.
Will she come back or run further when she hears another one? That is the question. Okay, so here's my new one. Where is it? Here we go.
Boy doesn't mind.
Boy, 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 boy. Hello, boy.
There you go, boy.
Was that a good night?
You like that?
You look very contented.
Oh, yeah. All right, buddy. There he is.
He's like, yep, I'm cool. Cool as a cucumber. Cool as a cucumber. Do you
Oh,
say that there? And is that do you use that phrase at all?
I don't use many cliches at all.
Well, because I never know sometimes whether they're just a local Australian saying or whether it's a, a global saying. So.
I don't. Check it out. We're gonna be doing some recovery. I bought some recovery equipment at the dollar store the other day. So here you are. So we got new.
Oh, awesome!
We got a blue one and a red one for self-defense. Check it out.
Awesome.
So
So do we have some more balloon action coming then?
there you go. Check it out.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, you've turned him into a drum. That's even better. He actually really likes it. He's like, yep, yep. Give me more of that. I like that one.
There you
Oh
go.
yeah.
Practicing. You ever see them kung fu movies when they hit the guys with the boards and stuff, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna be practicing this on my hip and stuff. We're gonna rejuvenate it. We're gonna get that chi moving. The chi.
Yep. That's a good idea.
Because the body responds to touch, nervous system reacts, and it'll give it like a placebo effect start. So
That's a really good idea.
and I'll tell you why. We were watching a long time ago. My lady noticed this, and I noticed this. I don't see it much anymore, but certain boxing matches, you'd see the guy come and the trainers before the fight, they're in the ring ready to start, and the guys in the corner, and they slap them all over like this, right?
Yep.
And they do that because your body is getting from impact, and it's afraid to get this. Like when my leg was bad, my hip was bad, my lady would walk towards me, and I would hurt from her coming near me because I didn't want to, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Stifle my walk because I felt so much pain. Oh, he's stuck. You're stuck on the thing here. Come here.
Oh boy.
There you go. Big sissy.
That was an interesting cry, that one.
He was stuck on the corner of the tip. There he is.
Hello, boy.
Big boy.
It's show off time. I'm a big strong boy time. Hello, sweetheart.
So
Hello.
he's actually checking the soda to see if it. Oh, here he's coming over here. What are you doing? Come over here. So
It's like, can I knock that over?
come over here. So we noticed the boxer being patted by the guy. So if you have someone do that to you, he's actually coming over on my lap.
Well, in Sweden, they do that with sticks and stuff as well, lightly. They'll hit certain areas, particularly with the birch and stuff, because it will stimulate the muscles in the area and stuff, particularly after they've had saunas and stuff. So it's probably the similar principle.
That too. But the thing that I was considering it also a part of is the shock of being hit. You're anticipating. So the trainer, the trainer gives enough impact to let you know. Okay, you know what it feels like, don't you?
Yep.
So and then it makes your breath come in. Believe it or not, your breath becomes more evenly distributed through your body. It's not your chi isn't stuck in one spot. It's like, all right, you're here, you're all, and it.
Yep.
Do you see what I mean?
Sense.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
It mentally conditions you with your body.
And the principle of weightlifting is that you slightly damage the muscles for them to grow back stronger. So you're doing a very kind of minor shock thing for it to A, get oxygen to it, and B, to invigorate it a bit, and
we especially when we're in pain like I was, we're trying to be like, is it because you're afraid of moving that it's staying tight so long because of the pain?
Yeah. Well, we constrict it by choice, yeah.
So the emotional trauma is I feel pain. If I move into, I don't even want to touch my knee. So I'm contracting more. So by tapping all over, once you start feeling better, you're like, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing that painful. So
Well, it's physical distraction too. It takes your attention away from the pain area and it probably relaxes while you're doing that
yeah.
without you realizing.
And then it causes you to believe that, oh, it isn't really that bad. And I'm telling you, your breath automatically comes into
Yep.
those spots, so you're naturally invigorated.
That makes complete sense to me, and it fits in with my years of meditation practice as well. Because one of the ways that I learned how to breathe in my body was to touch that place when I was breathing into it, and to bring the two together. And I would often do that, like you talk, by lightly tapping an area and focusing on that, and like
Prime example,
meeting it from the inside and the outside, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, that's a prime example. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a really good way of putting it. And in that process, you're also grounding and centering yourself as well, because you're bringing your awareness into your body. It's the same way dance will do that. Yoga will do that. There's walking will do that, because we bring ourselves into that motion of the body as we're doing it. But in that area, we're not working everything, if you know what I mean.
What happens is when we get shaky, like I heard Stephanie say she felt shaky for a few days, whatnot. Remember, she said she still feels shaky.
Yeah.
So there goes my power down 15. I didn't have it plugged in. I'll be all right at 15 now. Hold on, I got to plug this in.
Yep.
So when a basic thing like patting yourself like that, it's center. Like we get nervous, we lose our center. So trapping under here, you know what happens when you go in here. Sometimes when you massage right under your ribs, it makes you take a deep breath, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So these are the things that we sometimes forget. So it is good that you're into this, and you'll be going on more to show us these kind of things.
Yeah. And it's what I'm really interested in. That's actually part of what I'm really interested in talking about too. So, very much so.
The other one thing I wanted to say that I didn't say, when the guy's standing there ready to do the boxing match, he's nervous. Well, not always, but depending on how many fights he's done, he's nervous. So by the confidence of the trainer manager that's been with him the whole time, come on, buddy, you know what I mean? Just like my cat. He gets firm, but he's relaxed and firm. He puffs up, and he's firm, but he's relaxed. Now he feels ready, you know? His coordination, he's all, you know, loose spontaneity in the muscles flow and all that. So there he is going nuts on the chair. He's on the rocker.
Hey, on a side note, do you remember a little while ago that you mentioned that you were always interested in potentially someone interviewing you about, you deprogramming yourself and, getting out of the... do you want to do that? Because I'd be really interested in doing that. Like, I don't mean like now, but when you've got a bit of time, do you actually... Like, I think that'd be a really good thing to do, and I'd be really happy to interview and...
It would be very interesting. We'll take our time and see how we go about it in a good way.
Exactly.
And, that sounds like a good thing, because it's been on my mind a long time. I wanted to, I couldn't find out. I was able to talk about myself a bit, but I couldn't, do it extensively like that I could do.
Yeah. And we can break it down into chunks too. We can just break it down into
that would be good too. Yeah.
Stephanie, just on a side note, Stephanie was saying when she's out and something happens, I get so shaky. I find it hard to get back into normal mode. Stephanie, there's a couple of little tips I can give you here, and things that I keep in my handbag for this reason. When you get shaky, there's a couple of things that'll instantly help you. And Dave, you've got your own version of this in your recovery drink you make. You need electrolytes, gastrolite, hydrolyte, and uril are the three things here that if you can have them, even Gatorade, if you're out and about, it actually puts the electrolytes back in your system and it'll stop you from getting shaky, because when you get shaky, your system becomes acidic as well. So it will actually restore, it'll hydrate and restore the alkaline balance, because that's partly, and it helps to, like, that was a real key thing for me.
Don't go
And
sodium, don't go sodium free either.
Yeah, correct. And it'll have things like your magnesium in it, which will help with the lactic acid that's gone into your muscles. And Dave has his own recovery drink that he makes, which is exactly the same thing in his own way. So, um, yeah. And so what I would normally do if I'm out and about and I don't have anything, and I don't normally drink Gatorade and stuff like that, I'd go and grab a bottle of Gatorade or Lucozade, or there's a few versions we have here. And because they will help you come out of that really quickly. Um,
I got a good simple one too. See if she's tried this before. I'm telling you, and I know Violet, you know this too because of the
yeah,
fats and the sugar. Peanut M&Ms, chew them up good too, and you'll get the right amount of fat and sugar, and it'll help calm you down.
yep,
And it won't be that quick fix sugar where you just drink all sugar and then you'll be a mess further like an alcoholic type thing.
yep,
Eat a handful of peanut M&Ms, chew them up good. It'll digest and it'll bring your blood sugar up at a good pace. And then maybe a second handful of peanut M&Ms. I'm not lying.
I would agree with you there, and I think that's perfect. And think about it in Harry Potter when they talk about chocolate being the cure for dementors, which are the things that suck the life out of us, which is what you deal with in those instances that makes us shaky. So for me,
I'll tell you
I
how
agree
I
with
know.
you completely. I actually 1,000% agree with you on that one. So
Now, I'll tell you my experience of what happened, how I know it's effective for real. When a bear chases you through the woods more than once and your adrenaline is up and
yeah,
you get shaky, you know it works if you have some chocolate,
yep,
with sugar in it, peanut
yep,
M&Ms. And I used to go with a little bit of pepperoni and some peanut M&Ms. I used to keep them in an oregano jar,
yep,
oregano, whatever jar. And you flip the lid, and you have your supply. And like I got my jar here. This is my safety supply. When I get nervous,
yep.
you shoot them up. I'm telling you, it's don't just drink straight sugar candy or just
Chocolate
a
and
soda
nuts is
can
what,
help you right away, but
yep.
it's not going to feel you good in the long run. A soda could quick fix help you a little bit.
Chocolate, nuts, and jerky, something like that is normally what I have on me when I go hiking in nature, anything like that. I always have them in my bag for those
Mhm.
reasons, to get
Because
my
it helps.
blood sugar back, because it does. And exactly what you're talking about
It
works incredibly
stabilizes
well.
with that bit of fat in it. Yep.
Yeah, because it's fat and protein we need to feel full too. So we actually, by getting that part of it, so
Believe it or
will
not,
help.
the sodium that's in the pepperoni, people say, why do you, isn't he worried about the sodium? I said, no, I'm fishing all day and I'm using my hands and I'm making 1,000 casts a day while I'm rowing and I'm walking my boat in. I
Yep,
want sodium to help keep my, so I don't get over dehydrated or lose my electrolytes while I'm
yep,
out there. Because I found I'd fish all day using my hands. I'd be driving home, my hands would be cramping up on the wheel. So I
yep,
started taking pepperoni and I'd eat that. I'd eat about 4 ounces during the fishing trip of the day and then
yep,
make sure I have some water too. And I go home and my hands weren't cramping on the way home
yep.
because they're fatigued because it's a lot of work and then you're losing electrolytes that way. That really
Yeah.
helps.
That's a good
What is it?
idea, Stephanie. And the electrolytes are so important, because when we lose them, everything gets a bit more out of
Drink
whack. You know, it makes
it,
everything a
drink
bit
it out.
harder.
But
It
and the other thing is when you do notice that your breathing gets gets stuck like that too, you know that, Violet.
yeah,
You can tell about that. You know. When the
yeah,
breathing gets stuck and you're not really breathing right, and then that's the other half of the problem, if not
agreed,
most. Yeah. But
agreed.
it's
And
easier said than done. But once you start to get confidence in these little things, then you'll be like, hey, oh, I do feel better. You'll start to feel more at ease when you find out that these little things help. They really help.
yeah, agreed,
Then you'll gain your confidence back.
agreed, agreed,
And
agreed.
another thing that I found out was I give I would get overwhelmed with past guilt or trying to be in control of everything. And it's like, no, I'm where I'm at. I didn't choose to be here, and I'm doing the best I can, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started thinking that way. I took a lot of weight off of myself too. You know, you're doing the best you
Well,
can do.
we learn to be compassionate, and for me, I had such unrelenting expectations of myself that I would never put on another person. And I
That's
actually learnt to be compassionate with myself was the best thing I could have done.
And that's what I was saying before too. If you learn to have compassion for yourself, I think we mentioned this before. Some people learn this and they learn to. I want to be at that. The other people, I want to see people hurt the way I did in this situation. You see
Mm-hmm.
their hurt, you see what they need. Then other people get nasty, like, haha, let them see how it feels, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And they spitefully like to see people suffer the same way I did. Whereas I prefer to see someone in similar pain. I want to help.
And that previous type is the if you can't beat them, join them variety. That'll justify everything based on that logic too.
Yeah.
And they will be the first ones to cry foul when it's done to them as well.
Yeah. So don't be hard on yourself. If your integrity is, you know, if you believe you're doing the best you can, you don't got an ill intent on people, then you should be able to be good to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't mean you can't defend yourself in situations either. That's beyond the point.
I know, and that's probably because when it happened earlier with Stephanie, this guy was on the bike and he had a big dog with him that came after Stephanie's dog, and as soon as she said something, he turned on her. And
Situation too.
yeah, and that's not a good situation.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and it was fortuitous that you told him you were live and he was being filmed.
Yeah.
Because at that point it's like, well, that's already out there, you know what I mean? Are you gonna make this better or worse? It's like when what happened to me and the girl tried to get my camera off me, I actually said to her, don't you realize that everything you just did's already on film? There is not one thing you just did that isn't already on film. And at that point she dropped my phone, so I'm like, right. So, and people don't realize, like, she did that under CCTV cameras. It's like, you don't understand, that's all on film, every single bit of it. Anyway, yeah, but people and that's why a lot of these trolls in the world, I think if they actually had to look someone in the face or show their faces, they wouldn't say half of what they do.
Yeah. I explain, as far as YouTube is, I expect people to troll around and, you know, do their things, whatever they like to do. I expected, because as soon as I got to 100 subscribers, 500 subscribers, well, 100, 200, 300, the same thing happened. 2 people would unsubscribe.
Yep.
It's like,
Oh, same for me. There's threshold points.
Same 2 people that watch my channel and give me the thumbs down on the fish thing, and they just tag along for the fun of doing stuff. So it's like it's no big deal, because all that matters is that I'm getting more and more people that like to communicate and talk about the same kind of things, not the number.
Correct.
It's the people that are communicating and have a good time doing it.
Correct. Correct.
But,
it's that where that commonality comes in, you know, and
so that stuff, like it's baby stuff. Like, really.
correct. Correct. And it's like, what do you think you're actually gaining through this? You know?
But some kind of a small egotistical thrill. You know.
Potentially.
But it's nothing.
Potentially.
We see. We get. She already put them away. Okay. Well, anyway, yeah, we got extra booty today. We got that stinging nettle, so that was really good.
Yeah. And that certainly helps.
Yeah, I drank a lot of that in the last 3 days. She said, she said, you know, I made a whole bunch of it. You make sure you drink it all. She said, you drink it all. I said, I drank it all. She made a whole half a gallon of nettle brew. Yeah.
Wow. And hey, why not? It goes, you know, you like it and you know it works and it's abundant and it's free and it's there now. So,
Yeah, it's there now at a good stage. It's large enough that you can get a lot of it quick, but it's not so large that it's all woody. Yeah.
yeah.
And it's a nice thing is that the wood nettle comes out second. And so after the other stuff gets too tough, you get the wood nettle next. The
Yeah.
stingy nettle sides comes out first. The wood nettle comes out. And so what else is new? And I'm gonna head in soon because I only ate breakfast. Yeah, but I'm 12 hours. But I talk too much. So let me see.
Oh, no, you
What
haven't
else?
talked too much. You've talked exactly the right amount you needed to.
So what is there any other things anybody's got on their
Well, I know Olin's in the busy work phase at the moment, and he had to, in the last couple of days, he had to, I think, fire someone, and someone else left as well. So he's been through that delightful understaffed stuff there. I don't think there's been. I've been in like. I've been in creative explosion mode. My inspiration soup has just been like, right, dance woman. You know what I mean? And that's a good thing. It's a really good thing. So I've been in
one more time?
yeah,
One more time. All right, there you
exactly as Stephanie says, it's always good to hear what you have to say. Exactly.
go. I don't
Boy.
worry about too much on this channel, and everybody that knows me, if they come onto my channel, everybody's welcome on my channel as long as they're fairly friendly. I don't care if their opinions are different. Only, come on, have fun, be a little sarcastic, make fun of me too. That's what it's about.
Well, that's part of our exactly, and that's what it's all about. And I think the thing that I can say of myself, and I think it's very much the case with yourself. This is us. What you get on the channels, this is us.
Yeah. I'm not gonna just not gonna say I've already been made to do certain things, and so it just doesn't go.
We walk to the beat of our own drum, and we're okay with that. And if you don't like it, well, that's okay. And if you do, fantastic. All the power of the world to you. And
Yeah,
um,
can't let somebody else make a hell for you.
correct.
Because we've already been. I've been to hell, and I'm not going back.
Hello.
Everybody's got their own hell. When you know the difference between what is real for you and what is not.
Boy.
Oh boy, you're taking up the whole show.
Boy. No, he's funny. I keep whispering his name, and every time I do, he looks for me. That's what I'm doing. Boy. 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 Where'd I go? Boy. Oh.
Everybody, to start with, everybody's got one person to. He's going to shut the show off. Hold on. Everybody's got
That's
one
okay.
person to ultimately be responsible for, and it's their self. It's so easy.
Yep.
And then from there, you can nurture the other people that you care about.
Yep.
And it's so it should be looked at as I got something good for you, and it goes around, comes around. You got good stuff, I got good stuff.
Yep.
But you can't say, check it out. I got Dave's poem book right here. Check it out. Hold on, I got this poem book right here. It's a word according to it's a words according to Bobby Fish Gun right here. Okay.
Nice.
Fish Gun said, where they at? Oh yeah. Oh, check it out. We're gonna say this now anyway. We'll talk about broken. Remember broken?
Yep.
Broken. Yeah. If you ever knew how broken, no longer can he say a word. Broken. His true self never to be heard. Broken. Satan, in the words of angels, twisted words of shame, convinced him that he was the devil, in and of the same. No way getting out of it, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He thought they were on a higher level because he was taught that. Everybody else believes this. Thought they were on a higher level. Thought everything he was doing was in God's name. So he took the blame, and it left him lame. I tried to feed him. This is my brother. I tried to feed him, and he couldn't eat. The job they did on him was complete.
Oh,
I
yeah.
eat the pain. Sarcasm's free. What happened to him almost happened to me. I was that close. I saw through the cracks. I broke down the wall. I can't go back. I accept it all. On the narrow track, standing tall. Scare me with hell for the last earthquake. I'm going to be myself. I can't be fake. I've been to hell, ain't going back. I woke up to the fact that my mind was hijacked. There.
Brilliant.
And
Brilliant.
this happens to so many people because they never get to be their God-given universal self because people don't allow them. The mainstream doesn't allow them. This group doesn't
Right.
allow them. So they're stifled. They're actually choked out from their everything that was supposed to grow. This person, you, me.
Yep.
People are telling us we can't do this and that. Even if it's good, you can't do it unless you call it this.
Correct.
No, I'm one with it all.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm one with it.
And
I the good and bad. I have to live with the good and bad and make my decisions.
And I agree. And it's like I said in my one earlier today, I subsisted for so long. And it's what you're talking about. And I too felt broken for such a long fucking time. But you know what I've realized? I'm just a dull diamond and I can repolish when I need to. And in reality, you're the same. You're not broken.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
That's what I say to Stephanie.
Yep.
We eventually find the right people to help glue us together. That's what it's all about.
Yep.
It's like be careful who you pick your friends. And then
Yep.
when you find the kind, I said it's like we're like a dam. We're like a reservoir of water, and it spills over to the other person's need. You find the people that have the same things that you feed each other with. Yeah.
We make sense of each other. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I often say we hold little bits of the jigsaw for each other too, because we all have these bits and we're all trying to understand. And sometimes it's like, that's where that bit goes. That's where that bit goes, you know. Yeah. And that's where the inspiration ping pong, I think, comes in, because sometimes hearing other people's words can also help us find our own too, in some ways too, or at least understand a little bit conceptually something we were struggling to make form of a picture we had. So sometimes, yeah. And that's a really good thing. I really like that poem. I really, really like that one.
I think this is the first part that I made from it. I just found it a few pages before. It's about being broken too. And this is you'll get this. You guys will get this. They tried to fix me when they were broke. They tried to fix me when I spoke. Using words and phrases, they would poke me. When I finally woke, they wanted to choke me.
Yeah.
I watched him die from the inside, my brother, myself.
Yeah.
I watched him die from the inside. They took him away for a long ride, many years, to the other side of his mind. Could he return from being blind? No longer the kind of man when he began seeking truth. They fed him fear, and he ran.
And he got stuck in a cave, hey, love?
Yeah, literally. Yeah. They fed him fear, then he ran far away from here. Now he can never come back. He lives underground in a wooden shack. His mind was taken. The final attack from the Bible black, and he can't come back. One man's paradise is poison to another. Better think twice about fixing your own brother. It said, let God be true, and every man a liar. Fix your own heart's desire, the only way to put out the fire. So that pretty much covers it.
That's
So
brilliant.
it said, let God be true. Okay, I'm all for that.
Yep.
Every man a liar. But the problem is everybody wants to take control and say, I know what God wants for you. No, I know what God wants for you. God told me that he wants it. Get out of here. God is speaking to you. Now you nurture me. And I'll nurture you.
Yep.
You know?
And
But
that's a beautiful symbiosis, like it is. It's like
yeah.
there's no reason that all of this can't be mutually beneficial and in everyone's best interest. I mean, it's so flippin' simple.
Here's the thing. Jesus-based teachings are all what you just said.
Yep.
But doctrine comes in, and man can't help but manhandle and twist doctrines because it makes it rigid and put in a box or in a drawer. You got to take it out of the drawer and get it here because it said this here. But I used to ask my parent, why is the Beatitudes? He said to do this and you'll go to heaven. Oh, that was before this. Well, then what he said here didn't matter. That's just about being good after you're now a so and so.
Yeah, that's that if another step. Yep.
Yeah, but no, you have to take this step because now it says here. Yeah, because that's what they told you after Jesus said this. How do you know that Jesus even said that? If these were Jesus's basic teachings on how to get to heaven and come as little children, well, obviously there's been some changes along the way. But
Yep.
beyond that, if people, like I said before, now I won't even get into detail, but I'll challenge anybody trolling me or whatever, to simply read this, and just ask yourself basic questions along the way without being afraid. And you'll start to ask questions. But the
Yeah,
problem
but
is
they're proactive in the wrong areas. They're
right.
proactive in the wrong areas and they will never do that because they don't want to do the work. If they did, they wouldn't be doing what they're doing.
Well, there's a brainwashing involved, and it's this because I already know what the person said to myself, even though they weren't there, because I have double wires. I have two
Yep.
languages. The one part of me said, right after I said, but the fear of the Lord is the beginning of all wisdom. Okay.
Yep.
Now, what that does is, there's that door. No, you can't do that. But what that verse means, if you put it in a psychological way, because that's what it is, it's
It means respect it.
exactly. It means this. Watch, I'll show you.
Yeah.
All science, all things that we don't know have to be discovered.
Correct.
Man, that's hot. How do we make fire and whatnot? So, son, don't touch that fire. It's warm. It gets warmer when I get it, but don't touch it, son. He touches the fire, he gets burned.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. The fear of the Lord, or the universal truth, that's what it is.
And it also means respect them. And if you try to utilize them, be careful of what you're doing because that's on your soul too. So you be careful, you know what you're meddling with before you do too. And in part, it's like, you got to respect what you're looking towards. And that includes yourself. If not, what goal are you looking towards? That's a...
But as soon as one verse is taken and it's indoctrinated, okay,
Yep.
it only means this thing, then they miss the whole life sustenance.
Well, that's another line. It's another box. It's another limit of evolution. It's another whatever you want to call it.
Right.
It's and it's taking its surface value and not seeing the truth behind the words too.
Right. So it's choked out. So you can even say the word of the Lord is being choked out.
Yeah.
And we're not supposed to do that. I mean, it's so when you honestly look at it and you really want to know, all right, what good is in this? What good is in this? Because it seems to speak to me. And you find out it's universal truths. It's to be used for everybody.
Correct.
And who wrote it in there doesn't matter. But if they want to say that so-and-so writes it, and then they say, because this guy wrote this and that guy wrote that, and that means we have to believe this here. And if you don't believe this here, you're going to... There we go.
Well, one of the big bits that goes with that for me is universal law. You are not meant to make money off it. And churches do, and gurus do, and half of the New Age world does. You are not meant to make money from universal law. If you are trying to, you have missed the point. And I
Exactly.
think that's a lot of it. And I have a huge, and like for you and I, we talk because we need to and we want to. We don't do it to make money. We don't do it to capitalize. We don't do it to make anyone like us. We do it because it's a truth that needs to be spoken. And we hope at some point other people resonate enough to make it better for themselves. That's how it's meant to work. Not you must have me and pay me and contain me or be my version or you're not. And you're not meant to bloody utilize it for gain.
So heaven on earth, if it's taken to the limits you just talk about, that could exist.
Correct.
You know, that's
Correct.
the so many layers of indoctrination that's holding humanity back
Correct.
to being the best it could be.
And
That's
partly,
how born we are.
and
Yeah.
partly, as far as I'm concerned, this is hell. We've made hell. Do we want to work towards a better place, or do we want to stay here? It's our making. So,
I heard. I hate to bring up Motorhead, but I was listening to what he said, and he said it could be the best of all, unless we turned it to hell.
yep, correct. And how many things start with great ideas and end badly because humans are shit? I hate to say it. So many of these things start, like me. I started that chat on the other channel from the right perspective. I want it to be a good place. Why did it end? Because people turned it into a hell for me by coming from the wrong angle. Now that's really shit. But that's exactly what that whole thing's about too.
Mhm.
Now it's my choice at that point. Do I want to go through another bloody baptism of fire? Or do I step away and go, no, I'm not going to fight that battle again? And that's what I've done. I've stepped away and went, no, I'm not engaging that battle again.
Yeah.
Because any benefit in that's going to get lost and it's just going to decline further into hell. And that's not what it was meant to be.
Yeah. And like you said about an interview with me when the time feels right, if we get to do that, I'd like to do that. And I was so desperate at coming out, but since you coming out to how I've changed and why,
Yeah.
because I can't be labeled. I'm human trying to be the best I can be and perfectly imperfect and trying to recognize what I can make better.
Correct. And sometimes I think we don't always appreciate how we got from A to B. We can get there, but we don't get the time to look back and reflect. So I'd like to think it's something that would be positive for you to talk about as well, because it's something that you'll remind yourself. A lot of those things that you know what I mean? And that helps us as well. I believe that's a really symbiotic thing. You know, when we talk about something, we make it better for ourselves. We realize how we got here. We can appreciate our own achievements a bit more. It's the smelling of the roses part in some way. And, the hope is always that can then make that better for someone else. And that makes what you went through worthwhile on some level as well.
Yeah, I was at the point where I was desperate to feel like I would go on a certain channel where I saw that they were doing that, but a lot of their ways I didn't believe in, their attitude.
Correct.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. And
that's why I say there's so-called skeptics. They're atheists and they're so-called skeptics. They don't even become skeptics anymore. They've lost their common sense also.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree with you completely. And with anything, we talk about this often, it comes down to discernment. And we get to that point, it's like, well, where do we put our energy? And our energy is our time. Where do we put our time? It's, yeah.
I used to pray desperately sometimes because I felt inadequate to God.
Yeah.
And the reason why
Like you were trying to justify your actions in some ways as well.
Well, I felt worthless. I felt like, God, Jesus is my savior. I'm never going to measure up. I'm not going to do what he wants today. And I was like praying for things like, God, I'd literally wake up and say, God, what do you want me to do today? Because I feel so empty,
Yeah.
Except I know he's there. Yeah, I know you'll please activate me and show me what you want me to do. To show me what you want to say to somebody and stuff like that. And what I did was, if God created me a certain way and was like, okay, I'm a Christian, I'm filled with the Holy Spirit, everything is settled. I'm seed,
Yeah.
I'm a well plant over water. There's no more. If God is living, literally living in me, I have a relationship. we're speaking as one. This should flow out of me automatically. What's all the
Correct.
hesitation about? Well, indoctrination causes hesitation. It causes doubt in oneself because you're afraid to be arrogant over here, though you know you need to do more. But don't think that you did that. Remember, give God the credit. And so much, Jesus said, Father, let them know they are one as you're one. The idea was Jesus was claiming to be one with God. You're supposed to understand that you're one with the universe too.
Yeah.
You call it God, but people have an image of God as the guide. It's a little bit older. He's, whatever picture image is stirred with words.
Yeah.
But it's until you realize your reality is your life in this body, your life force with this body, with the universe, and trying to figure out how it works with you, and you work with it more efficiently. You are having a live relationship with the universe, and you've labeled it all with names because they told you to.
Yep.
And work to help us get through, but you've indoctrinated the universe.
Yep. And you know what I call it at its core? That's osmosis. It's osmosis, us trying to come back in balance with the universe, and that's exactly what you're doing. And so many, they've put so many names on it. At the core of it, we're just trying to come back into balance.
And the fear keeps them from getting there, and you constantly feel like, what am I not doing? What am I not doing? You're not being yourself.
Yeah.
You're not being yourself because you're afraid because God's going to be offended that you're being yourself. How could your own heavenly father or mother, or whatever you call, be offended for creating you when now you desire to do good, and supposedly it's the spirit in you that's supposed to want to make you desire to do it? You're supposed to be one with this.
Correct.
Oh, it's so frustrating.
Correct. And look, Stephanie was saying
respect
before.
For life. It causes respect for life. No, you can't have that because you didn't say the right words. That's really Satan and you fooling you. No, it's not. It's the same thing that everybody has, and they have to make a choice with it.
Correct. And look, I think one way of putting it, and Stephanie was saying before that the two of us are really good at writing, and I said it's because we let our inner aliens talk and make friends with them. And in reality, this is what it is. We've learned on some level to come to peace and balance and make friends and have for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I said that in my mind right when you said that. It's just because you come to peace.
Correct.
With it.
And if you're lucky, you end up finding yourself exactly where you need to be, like I am at the moment. And it's the first time I've felt this in a long time, First time in probably well over a decade, maybe since I was in the crystal shop, that I actually feel like I'm where I need to be doing what is right for me and that the future's mine again. And that's been a very long time since I felt that way.
And I couldn't help but have anger back then while I was considering myself forgiven. I couldn't help it, even though I wasn't supposed to have anger for people that didn't believe like me, and feeling like they are ignoring or turning their back on my God. I literally felt that, and
you were made to believe that everyone's soul was on your head too, so it's understandable based on that you would take that on as well. On a side note, good night, Lena, love. I hope you have a good sleep.
That's what I did this year because I believed it was the blood of souls would be on my hands, and the pastor showed me verses that convinced me. So what was I to say? This is God saying this then, and literally you can't change somebody's mind by going to the door. And so you're planting the seed. You could also be planting more than the seed. You could plant it, man. They're gonna despise you more than that. They really ain't gonna get anywhere. It's gonna cause more of a problem. But people have it all in them.
Yeah, agreed.
And the things that people say it's inspired. It's words that were inspired for men. That were, for whatever reason they were inspired, they wrote and put things together one step at a time. And it's all very interesting because now I can look at it and see the psychology in it. And it's amazing. And I wish more people would read the Old Testament and I don't joke when I say modern day Moses in disguise right before our very eyes.
Yeah.
The reason why is because there's so many things that they had to do that said the Lord told Moses or God told Moses. They had to put so many fancy decorations on anything because God told them. The
Yeah.
cosmos wanted them to do it. And what it did was it kept order to the community. Everybody had jobs. I could go on and on. But
Yeah.
Moses was in control. He was what we would, if we had to live in that situation, it'd be like, okay, I want everybody wearing masks. I want them all 6 feet.
Yeah.
It's a thing. And people look at it automatically because I heard this in church. He was a good guy. He killed the bad guys. Are you sure? Look at all the things. The people were forced to drink the golden calf and they all got sick off of it. They were forced to. To me, that's like Bill Gates saying, you all have to take my vaccine
Yeah.
or you're not
Yeah.
going to be able to do this, that, and the other thing. So to me, it's all about hierarchy ruling over the cattle. We're all beasts. So the number of the beast back then was do this, do that. You're under our rule. And if you get unruly, you're taken to the edge of the town and beaten and cast out. That's just the way it was. But now, and I looked at it the other day, I said, the Mosaic Law was probably more intelligent now than what the world is now, though, because at least they knew when people were unruly.
I want to read you something just briefly. This is I actually sang this the other day, and this is really on par with what you're saying at the moment. This is a some lyrics out of Sweeney Todd, and when he's talking about old Victorian London, and so it starts with, there's a hole in the world like a great black pit, and the vermin of the world inhabit it, and its morals aren't worth what a pig could spit, and it goes by the name of London. At the, oh God, where's the bit of the lyric gone? Man, sorry, I've lost the next part of the lyrics, disappeared on me. Bang. Sorry. Okay, here we go. Let's try that again. There's a hole in the world like a great black pit, and the vermin of the world inhabit it, and its morals aren't worth what a pig could spit, and it goes by the name of London. At the top of the hole sit the privileged few, making mock of the vermin in the lonely zoo, turning beauty to filth and greed. I too have sailed the world and seen its wonders, from the cruelty of man to the blah, 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 but there's no place like London. And those words always stay with me, and it's always like, that's such a, it's very Orwellian Animal Farm too, and it's very much what you were talking, that's this, it used to be in the world of the aristocracy versus, the peasants, for want of a better word, and it's shifted in our society, and it's exactly what you were saying there. It's like, in reality, to a large degree, that's vaccine and elitism form.
Yeah, and the strange thing is that because we're in a modern society, we can't picture ourselves as controlled as people in Mosaic society.
Correct.
And
we've given control to different things. We've given controls to the devices in our pockets, and we're using them now to talk to each other, which is the triple irony of it. But we outsource so much of our lives, and I'm not saying us individually have, but on a societal, greater stereo generalization level, we've outsourced our lives to all of this, and our spirituality and our souls and everything else. And what I found, and what you've potentially found yourself, is peace doesn't come that way. It actually only comes from putting the broken bits back together and coming to peace with your own inner alien, or whatever you want to call it, or and discovering your own peace with the universe around you. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
And
the strange thing is that simplicity is so easy, and if everybody saw that, they would respect that in the next person, and they would want to
Correct.
be like that is cool.
And the
Wow.
whole gets better. Everything gets better that way. And each
Yeah.
step in that, the whole gets stronger, better, happier. Like it's a win-win. It's a win-win.
Yeah. And the hard thing to believe where I was before is that no, you can't be becoming like you say you're becoming. You're being fooled. Okay?
Yep.
I believed that unless you said certain things and believe certain things, you're controlled by what we call, which when you look in there, it
Yeah.
isn't there. But
Yeah.
there's another song. I know you're not in the Motorhead. Most people
I
talk
like
about.
Motorhead. I like Motorhead, and I actually really like you talking about Motorhead lyrics because I find them really interesting. So no,
There's a
I
song.
do like that.
Cool. Maybe I'll put this one in my playlist. I like the video, but it's kind of have to be these age restricted because it's got some girls wiggling on stage and they're throwing water on.
In their skin tight pink pants, eh?
And guys are riding on motorcycles up there. But it's called the Brotherhood of Man, and
Yep.
it's what we're talking about. And what Lemmy is doing, he's being sarcastic about the so-called Brotherhood of Man, and he talks about we even kill our own children, and what we get is hell is what we do to ourselves is what we deserve. But anyway,
Yep.
that's what he's talking about, the ridiculousness of the so-called Brotherhood of Man. Look what we've done to ourselves is what the song is about.
Yep.
So I like the video with the song. It's a classic. So maybe I'll put it up on my playlist.
Yeah,
It's
do.
not about music. Guys at the bar throwing beer on girls, blah, 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 for moments here and there.
Yeah, but
But the
that's
whole
what just keeps certain people interested. That's not what it's about.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there were other ones done with other videos to it, but they were cheap looking, so it didn't help the words and the music.
Yep.
So this one is like, but if you go on YouTube, you can probably get other ones and say Brotherhood of Man by Motorhead with lyrics. And
I'll write it down.
yeah, it's really good. So yeah, maybe I'll put it up on my playlist. I took the
Because I'm pretty sure we read the lyrics of that one together when we were
of
talking
the
about them
Brotherhood
at
one.
one point. Yeah, I've got a feeling
Uh,
that one, because I've got something in my heads going. We looked at, because there was quite a few that I really liked, and I actually saved the lyrics in a Word document,
yeah.
and I'm pretty sure that was one of them. So,
I put up 4 ballads, and people might get me wrong, and the one, and this isn't about. This is a neutral song in my opinion because it's getting people to think, and it's a sad song. But at one time, it was one of the things that broke me when I couldn't let go of my doctrine. Many things affected me, but it was called. And remember, it's Lemmy's song, but he's making a point. It's called "God Was Never on Your Side."
yep.
That's what it's called. It doesn't say God doesn't exist, whether he believed it or not. Whether Lemmy believed God existed or not doesn't matter. The song is saying God was, to all the people that say God's on my side. No, God's on my side. God's on my side. It's saying to everybody, you all think God's on your side. Do you have the lyrics to that?
Let me grab it.
And I can sing that song so heartfelt, but it brought tears to my eyes because when I sang it to myself.
Okay, give me a second. Oops. It's giving me Brotherhood of Man by the Innocence Mission. That's not who I want. Let me get the Motorhead.
Anyway, I have it on my playlist. I have Dead and Gone. I have God Was Never on Your Side.
Here we go.
And
I got them here.
this isn't telling anyone what to believe. It's saying,
Give me a second.
it's saying, take another look at why you say what you say.
Come on, don't do that.
See
to me.
10,000 ministries. See the holy righteous dogs. They claim to heal, but all they do is steal, abuse your faith, cheat, and rob. And it goes on.
I've got the lyrics here, so I can read them quickly.
Yeah.
So the lyrics go, if the stars fall down on me and the sun refuses to shine, then may the shackles be undone. May all the old world cease to rhyme. Old words cease to rhyme.
Word
this-
control, the old
Yeah.
words.
That makes sense. If the sky turned into stone, it would matter not at all. For there is no heaven in the sky. Hell does not wait for our downfall. Yeah. Let the voice of reason shine. Let the fires vanish for all time.
Pious. Pious.
Yeah.
I think it says pious. Pious.
Well, it says fires here, but this could be a
Oh, okay.
mistranslation on the lyrics too.
I think it says pious, meaning.
Well, that's funeral pyres and
the one-eyed farmer, meaning the pious are the ones that say you have to listen to us.
yes.
So go ahead.
God's face here is unseen. You can't ask him.
All right, they got it wrong. God's face is hidden, all unseen.
You can't ask him what it all means.
No, because you have to seek. See,
yeah.
They want it. God said it, and they write it down, and then you have to believe what they said. No, it's for you. It's for you. God's face is hidden, all unseen.
Yep.
It doesn't tell all what it means.
I like these lyrics because it says next, he was never on your side. God was never on your side. Let right or wrong on our own decide. God was never on our side. And that means it's up to you. That's your free will. It's up to you to navigate this journey. It's
not playing favorites. And even the Bible says God is no respecter of persons.
Yep. Correct.
Again,
correct. See 10,000 ministries. See the holy righteous dogs. They claim to heal, but all they do is steal. An illusion of faith, cheat and wrong.
Abuse your faith, cheat and rob. It's called
okay.
Abuse your faith, cheat and rob.
Okay. If God is wise, why is he still when these false prophets call him friend? Why is he silent? Is he blind? Are we abandoned in the end? Let the sword of reason shine. Let us be free of prayer and shine. God's face is hidden, turned away.
Shrine. Yeah, it's prayer and shrine, meaning worshiping these objects. See?
Yeah, idolatry, as they'd call it.
Yeah.
He never had a word to say. He was never on your side. God was never on your side. Let right or wrong on our own decide. God was never on your side. I like those lyrics.
Now,
because in reality, it's not saying God doesn't exist. It's saying it's actually, you've still got to have a clean soul. It's up to you how you determine that.
Not any favors. What's your choice to be? Are you going to be right or wrong? It's that simple. Are you going to align with what you know is right? Instead of saying, you said the magic words, now God's cool with you. No, you have to be real. You have to respect what's going on inside.
And part's not being a fence sitter as well. Actually pick a side, right or wrong. You can't, you got to live with it. You got to walk for your own and live with the consequences too, not just sit on the fence and wait for absolution in the afterlife,
Exactly. See, whether there's an afterlife or not. Let that be up to God or the universe too.
Correct. We've still got
That's
to live
not
this
gonna
one,
be the
though.
reason. That's not going to be the reason for me to choose the right decision out of fear of going to hell.
Correct.
Suffer or loss is not truth for making a reason to decide what is right or wrong. Right
And
or
it's
wrong.
being congruent. If you believe it, walk it. You know, and it's not about, it's about doing it now. You've got to be that one. It's
That's
not
what truth is. Yeah.
yeah.
It's not about seeking reward or being afraid of suffering loss. You do truth
Correct.
in spite of that. Now, if there be reward, then it is truth's reward.
Correct. Correct.
And then once you can accept that, it's like, I did all I can do. I'm being real.
And
I
that's where
have not
peace comes. And we
exactly
forgive ourselves. Because in reality, we did exactly what we needed to get to where we had to. We might have made our journeys hard, but we got there in the end.
right. So that's what that song's about, and I know it's easily misunderstood, but you got it. You got what it was about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I heard that song a few times, and it questioned me, and the videos that were with that song really made me think. There's a few of them, and it showed that these, we know these famous preachers that did wrong, and you see all these good meaning people being taken advantage of, and then it's just starving people while these God's not doing anything about this. These guys know that they're, according to the universe, they're allowed to trick you.
Yeah.
That's natural law. You bought into their thing. In the meantime, there's this little Indian kid, and there's a buzzard waiting for him to die, and he's almost skin and bone. And the point is, we were supposed to help this boy, but instead we're feeding these criminals.
Yep.
The boy should have been taken care of. There should be no buzzard after this boy. This should have been the boy should have been well fed by us. But we sent our money out of fear and indoctrination because we listened to these big-headed idiots like Copeland and Jesse Parker and all that. And listen to these. They're nothing but psychologist freaks, and they're playing a game laughing.
Yeah.
Dr. Alan Ben and the rest of them guys.
Yeah.
I can't
Intentionally breaking.
Yeah. So when I saw that, I said, it's really up to me, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I mean, it's all there. The natural truth is God is no respecter of persons. How could that be true? Oh, unless I believe a certain way, then it's no. It says God is no respecter of persons. And on, I kept finding universal truths. But only doctrines can withhold you from accepting the universal truths. Well, that's because at that time, politics gets mixed in with religion in Rome. And it that's how it usually happens. It happens everywhere.
Yeah.
Get church and state mixed together, you get a strong that keeps you from being yourself.
Correct. And that's a cycle that's played out many, many times. So
The cycle. And that's why I wish people would read their Bibles and just take your time and go through and ask yourself. I always say, put yourself in the place of Moses, put yourself on the place of the receiver of the laws, pick yourself in the enemies, pick yourself of the virgins that were taken and all their
that's
husbands.
empathy.
Yeah.
Understand it from their side, and if you understand that, you understand the message and where it was coming from. Because if you don't understand those parts, then you're probably going to misinterpret the original message.
And you can't see the whole essence of the story, what it's showing or what it could be showing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But people take out what they kind of like what they already firsthand feel. They, oh yeah, oh, that must be right then. And they don't look much further. But I gotta say, everything we read, none of it's a magazine or whatever, when we read it, we comprehend it, and our belief system takes in so much of it.
Mm-hmm. We put it through the sieve. Yep.
Yeah. And sometimes it doesn't need to go through much at all. It sounds good, so it's good, And but we don't know who wrote something and why. And at that time, the people that the stories were being wrote about, they weren't running around with scriptures. They heard it from word of mouth. So it wasn't like Moses and the people going through the desert, looking to get to the promised land. It wasn't like they had scriptures and they're walking around reading them. They had whatever they had, and they usually had to hear it from a priest, and they all had to gather together. But we're running around, people are running around with Bibles and arguing over King James and whatnot, and they still haven't agreed on, what denomination is right. But I always go back to people and say, if the same Holy Spirit is guiding you, is guiding me, shouldn't there be an agreement on
That they're all right, they're just interpretation. And there's a degree of communal truth there.
Why this constant confusion? But no, you're supposed to be speaking in tongues.
Yeah, but at the core of all of them is it's like love thy neighbor as thyself. It's never meant to be us versus them. And the thing is that's missed so often. And that's where the factionalism comes in. And it's like if you want to say people don't persecute me because of this, well, don't persecute others as well. It's bloody simple.
Right. And the I can go on, but the resurrection story, whether it be true or not, could be taken in so many ways.
Yeah.
If Jesus is teaching self-giving, even if it's just a story, can't you see that his resurrection means you
come to peace with yourself?
Come to peace with yourself and others. You buried it, and now you understand that I've buried it. I've buried the anger from these people. Now I'm going to start life all over and treat people better and learn how to be with these people and communicate better with them.
And sometimes dye your hair purple and go to university at the age of 46 to learn how to do photography and filmmaking. Right. It's just, that's part of it too. There's many different, you know what I mean? Like we all...
But if people would see the story, the analogy for what it means, but instead they make you have to believe that this particular happened, and then, but the really neat, the challenge to me was, one of the challenges was the very beginning, but when I read the Gospels, I discovered I saw somebody said, no way, and I looked it up, and I'm like, wait a minute, this gospel of the resurrection is completely different with the people that are there.
Yeah.
And this one has one angel, and this one has two angels, and this one has a man, and this one has a stone rolled away, and this one, the stone was already rolled away, and this one, they're worried about who's going to open it. And when the same people came, you can't have the same people come and have the stone going into one thing, and it's there and there. And there were so many different variables that I could all write a whole list of them. But I just like tell people, just take your time and read it and look at it, and then ask the questions that don't seem like it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because it's written material, and it's there for you're supposed to read it. You're supposed to read it. But if you just listen to, it's Easter Sunday, we always do the book of Luke because we like Luke,
Yeah.
But the problem with Luke was when Luke starts out the chapter. And I'll just say this very briefly, I don't want to get because I can go all over the place because I've been there. Luke starts out and says, okay, I've looked it over very carefully, and I've put it all together. In other words, he's going to get ready and put together, right, I looked it all over. What did he look over carefully? Mark already written, Matthew, Mark, and then Luke. What was there to look over if Matthew got it right? The people were getting the wrong information then. Well, in Matthew, when Jesus died, the resurrection, it said that all the souls that were saved, the ones that they were resurrected, and they preached the gospel through the town. They actually, it says that they came up out of the graves and they walked around the town and preached the gospel, whatever that means.
Yep.
But that was the only gospel that was in Matthew, and it's now. All the scholars, including Christian scholars, most of them have agreed that Mark is the first book of the Gospels. Not Matthew, Mark, Luke. It was Mark, then Matthew. And most of them agree that. But there's a reason why the order is there. Mark was the crudest, smallest one, and things were added on. And as they looked, they could see things were added on. But why would such a big event that happened in Rome of dead people rising, like thousands, not be reported in any kind of history? That's kind of
Yeah.
odd. And
Yeah.
if they come up literally,
Kind of significant.
and Rome and these people were known for writing stuff down.
Yep.
When I asked myself, if they came up out of the grave, were they magically dressed in? It's funny, but I'm not making fun. Are they magically dressed in a certain outfit, or did they have the same old? I mean, that'd be kind of
I've
scary.
asked that question to myself. I'm like, under the shroud, what was there? And when, that supposedly happened, what, you stumble out naked?
Would you talk, would you run? Or I mean, we're talking about zombies now, the zombie apocalypse now.
Mhm.
People making jokes about that since the movies came out like 10 years ago that I never watched. But people would be like, "What the heck? Hey, it's me, your uncle. Get the heck out of there!" You know. So, but it was only in one gospel, and these things that happened at different times. Really, he was supposed to be dead for 3 days and 3 nights, according to the scriptures. 3 days and 3 nights, and it was a day and a half. That's what the amount of time was, a day and a half. So I used to ask. I asked my father this back, and he said, "Well, the Jewish people, if it started at this time, they considered it a whole day. But no, it says 3 days and 3 nights. It's supposed to be in the grave 3 days and 3 nights. That's what it says. And there's so many things. If you look at, I was just believing this because it was in here.
Yep.
It's in it. Yeah. Well, it's a little different over here, but that's just the way they wrote it. No, if you look at it, it's completely different. And that's the thing that started getting me to question. And then I realized when I said, "Oh, you're testing God," and all these old phrases would come. No, I'm not testing God. I want to know the truth about God. How do I know that man didn't tell me that God is like this? See, and then I found out that that's what I was being taught. That man's telling me how to think about God and my own within. The basic truth is, Jesus said the kingdom of heaven within. If he said that, if he said the kingdom of heaven is within you, that's the place to look.
Correct.
If he even says, and if he even prayed twice, Father, let them know. He's asking God, the universe, his Father, let them know that they are one, as we are one. And here's this whole thing about where the deity of and the Trinity came from, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. So we're supposed to be
it's where
like
the separation starts to happen.
Yeah. It's not supposed to be separation. We're supposed to be that close.
Correct.
And then I see these well-meaning people like myself. I was constantly in and out of God and blaming myself, but I disconnected myself.
Yeah.
Instead of realizing God's supposed to be with me all the time. Where did I get this idea? Calling out to the Lord, calling out to there's no reason to call out. It's supposed to be that God is that close all the time as your very self, within your very being.
Yeah.
It's not arrogance. It's where God wanted to be. You accepted Jesus in your heart. And the pastor even told me, just imagine Jesus stepping into you and sitting down in you and taking his place. Okay. Then why do I keep calling out to God? If I truly believe that, I wouldn't be afraid to accept it. Just like Jesus.
Does that mean I'm a puppet?
But at the same time, they mocked Jesus and said, look, he says he is the same as the Father. Ha, ha, ha. And it says he found himself. They ridiculed him because they said that he blasphemed, saying that he was no different than the Father. In those type of words.
Yeah.
How does he think that and he didn't dispute it? How could he? Why should he even bother explaining? Yeah. And that's what it comes to with us. See, that's where we're at.
Correct.
We don't have so many words in the book that are saying this, and that they don't understand. It's the same thing Jesus was saying. I'm not going to dispute this with you. I and the Father are one. He found it no reason to deny it. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Because how would you? Are you going to just continue? God, I want to feel closer to God. And they complain. So many people I heard, and they said, I want to feel closer to God. That's all you're doing is feeling closer to God. You're supposed to already be with God.
Yeah.
You're not
And it's
supposed to be
not about
falling
how
off.
you talk, it's how you live. It's
Yeah,
about walking it, incorporating it, being congruent, having that relationship with whatever you want to call it, not
yeah.
having an external thing that it's contingent upon.
But the guilt cycle is what keeps people calling
Oh, yeah.
out to God. There's a guilt cycle involved because you're taught how to ask forgiveness of your sins, but you're taught that you're always forgiven. And some people, some groups even teach that you should never ask forgiveness of sins again. But at the
Yeah.
same time, those people, I've seen this before, because the Pauline doctrine is so strong, you always have something to fall back on. So it doesn't matter if I do this nasty thing to so and so. God understands that they're on the devil's
Exactly.
side
It's
too
not
anyway.
about absolution in the afterlife. You've still got to be a decent freaking human being. Yeah.
Yeah. But the
Yep.
thing is, the Pauline gospel lets people have a reserve for sin, as
Yep.
and it's a shame because the people well, yeah, but I'm forgiven, but they get tricked into making this easy spot excuse of justification to, oh, I'll blow off some steam on them anyway. God will understand. That's not the point. The point is
Hey, don't you know how the
learn.
Vatican Bank started, don't you? By selling absolution from sin. That's how banking
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
currency started in our world. So
yeah,
this one
yeah.
goes back a long
You
way.
know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Oh, I know more about this. That's one of the subjects. Usury laws and money in the way it's been used over time. I probably know more about than any other subject. It's been something oh yeah, I know all about that one.
This is
I can even
discussion.
tell you when things changed in the papacy and everything like that, when the shifts happen, who, when, why, how, all of that. It's been something that I have spent a lot of time investigating in my life. Yeah,
You are very mathematically in tune too. Man.
yeah,
But um, it, when I finally saw the Adam and Eve story in another light, that's what I saw. What you just talked about.
mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm talking about?
Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about.
The beginning of that,
Yeah,
it's saying we own you and you owe us now,
yep,
and that's where they kept the cycle going, and
yep,
nobody leaves two innocent children in a candy store with a drug dealer.
no, correct,
And that's what the
correct,
story is about. But
correct.
the person who left them in there, his hands are clean. That's
Yeah,
not God.
no,
That's the guy that owns everything and owns you and me and everybody, and and uh, and uses the innocent for their own evil.
yep, correct, correct.
But people don't realize they're worshiping what was made out of this.
Correct.
Because I have to read the simple story and
It's
read
the
where,
symptom and not the cause.
yeah.
If for like, that's not quite the right analogy, but it holds too. That's um
But if you read
the
like
interpretation and not the reality, I guess, is part of it as well. If you want to look at it that way.
everybody has heard the story and they've heard it from the pulpit and they've never gave it a second thought. And if they read what it says and read the end, I mean, completely from that whole third chapter there, I think it's the third chapter, and read it and read what God says, God or the Lord says to them, Adam and Eve, and the serpent, and see the completion of what it says, and go on to look for how eternal damnation, soul winning, demons. You don't find it. It ends right there. But
Yeah.
it takes man to plow it up, make something else out of that, keep that rolling,
Yeah.
get it to stick.
Yeah.
But the Satan that these people have made today is their own evil. It's not a
Oh
being.
yeah.
You don't need a being to be as stupid as people become.
And they feed it by choice.
And they feed it by choice. That's the thing you talk about with the wolf and that. And
Yep.
I mean, in the cartoons, used to be a simple cartoons. You have a devil on one shoulder, an angel on the other.
Well, and they used to have basic morals too, but they don't
Yeah.
do that anymore. Now it's just about
Yeah, I mean,
special
it
effects
was
and endless
basic morals.
special
It was
effects.
50
Yeah.
years ago, basic morals was understood. That's how crazy it got. But you see, like I told you that when you Google the evolution of Satan,
Yep.
And the evolution of hell is also in there by 43 Alley. And you simply anybody can open their Bible and see the guy isn't lying. You're going to get to see, instead of from your pastor, you're going to see, wow, well, how did the Satan that everybody is talking about on YouTube get to be so damn powerful? And we ain't putting
People
no,
enabled it.
because people aren't blaming themselves.
Yep,
They're not
correct.
taking responsibility. They're blaming. Well, if these people would believe, then no.
The devil made me do it. No, it didn't. It was your fucking choice, and it's not a mistake if you knew you were doing the wrong fucking thing.
Right. It's all.
Yeah.
Jesus said, "Kingdom of heaven is within." So if we're gonna make heaven, we got to start with each person at a time, and changing
Yeah.
themselves for the better and desiring that, and then
Yeah.
feeding whoever needs it with what they have.
Yeah.
So that's the simplicity of it. I'll stop right there. I get over excited about it, and I know some people probably watch it and say, "Look, oh no, that guy was a blah blah blah." Like I said, I have no labels, and I'm excited because I knew what hell I was in, and I saw my brother's life destroyed.
Yep.
Nobody can tell me to go back to that.
Yeah. Well, that's your
And
choice.
Once you see, like I used to say with that,
Ignorance is bliss.
but once you see the truth, you can't go back. There's no way you can believe something that now you've uncovered
No.
what it
Agreed.
is. You just can't go back. And
Agreed.
I have nothing against the people that are good-willed that have religion.
I'm
This
with
is-
you there.
This is their wiring. This is how they communicate with their inner self. But they don't see, they're unable to see the limitations they're putting on their self that God wouldn't even have.
And the way I look at it as well, the last thing I'd ever want to do would be to take someone's faith off them. And everyone has their own context. And if that
That's
works
right
for
now.
you and you gain something positive for it, then all the power of the world to you, you know.
Especially now. It's too hard for people now. Their wires are strung that way. And if you take that away from them, I couldn't do it to my
Well, you
family.
wouldn't. If you understand it, you wouldn't willingly take it off someone as well, because you understand it's not your place to do it as well. It's each individual's
Well, not
right
only
to
that,
decide too.
and not only
Not
that,
yours, even if you see it.
I when I went through the pain, it's like when you realize what you realize, when you are able to unlearn things that you thought were just so. It's a painful experience. You feel totally lost, abandoned.
Yeah.
It's a very strange feeling, and I know it would be to anybody, because people occasionally feel like that in this world anyway.
Yep.
So the only people, because of the hell I went through and because of the hell my brother went through, the only people that I would have to challenge, I don't even like the word challenge, I would have to defend why I am the way I am, and I do it with the very scriptures, is the people that want to be the pushy ones, you know.
Well, the
You
ones
want
that
things-
demand you justify
Ones that-
yourself.
Right. Because I was that. And I understand the whole wiring. I understand all the feelings. I even understand the adrenaline that I used to have when I got there. There was a certain kind of adrenaline.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Strange thing about that adrenaline is I interpreted it and was told that must be the Holy Spirit. No, it was my ego, sorry to say.
Yeah. That one was me
It really
too. Yeah.
And I believed I was fighting for God. Well, God doesn't need any of my help. Let God be true. That's a hard thing people have doing, is letting. Let God be true in every man of mine. And if the scripture speaks for itself, and all these claims that people say, his word will not go void. It will not go. His word will not go void. I mean, when you speak it, something good is going to come out. Then let it be. Let it be.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that. The problem is everybody's saying, no, this is the truth. This says this here, this says that there. And then nobody can agree. And even the people that use the same name can't agree with each other. To speak on tongues, well, we speak in tongues and roll on floors. How come you don't? I mean, I go to extremes. But it just
Yeah.
silly after that.
Yeah,
But
I
that's what it
agree.
is. If there's one spirit, there should be one unity.
Yeah. And for me, it don't matter what you call it. It really does not matter what you call it, because that's up to each individual to find their own pace with that.
Right. And you can
So,
call, what color is it too?
it don't matter. It's
Colors.
irrelevant. It's irrelevant.
And you know what? It's so interesting to talk about too, because we all got it.
Well, we do. We do. And in reality, you know, whatever words we give to those pictures ourselves, doesn't matter as long as we see the pictures and we've found a way to live at the balance of the world around us. It shouldn't matter how you view it, because in reality, the whole is better for both of us having seen it. It doesn't matter which version's right or wrong.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's just the way I look at stuff. That's
Right.
just,
And the totality of words is respecting life.
yeah.
You know, that's what it comes down to. How you respect life. So
Yep.
at least as far as starting from ourselves out, the way the world works around us, that works many different ways as we can see.
Yeah.
So,
and that's up to us about how we interact with it as well. Cause and effect. You know, too many people go, oh, poor me, and da da da. Well, that's your actions that are causing all of that. And that's part of that taking responsibility thing, for the good, bad, and otherwise. And, you know, if we don't want crappy results in life, then we're going to do the best we can. But there's also areas we can't control it, like your work scenario and things like that. So there's areas where we can do the best we can, and there's areas we can control it ourselves. And
remember
it's like that whole learning which battles to fight is part of it too.
that too, yeah. And remember, you said before, and I had the same problem. I was unable to show any anger. I think you said that too.
Yeah, I was definitely the same for a very long time.
Anger. So when I did let it out, I was a nut, and especially when I drank. I was nut. I had blackouts, and I'd freak out. And,
I was a walking volcano.
yeah.
Yeah.
And now I don't feel like I'm that. I'm spontaneous, but I'm not, you know.
Yeah.
Though I
And-
can at every time, but I'm not afraid, you know,
Yeah.
in that kind of a way. I don't
And
have that.
if it comes now, you probably know the difference between anger as a way of processing and dealing with stuff, and justified anger. And they're different things. And you'll tackle each of them depending on how you need at the time. And you'll vent it in different ways, be it poetry, voice, song, filming the sky, whatever it is. Yeah.
Cursing and re-rapping and wheels at work. I mean, I cursed because it worked.
Yeah.
I'd run upstairs and, you know, drop things down, and I'd come down, but I'd laugh about it later because the anger got me through it. It's a different thing than boiling up with rage against somebody. Then the situation, if you use your anger to get through the situation, you're using what you're supposed to be using. But
well, that's the fire element at its core, you know.
Yeah.
Learning how to direct it and not burning yourself and burning the wrong people with it as well is
right. But anger against humans is, unless it's somehow necessary, but having rage, put it that way, because disagreements, that is the opposite of life, you know.
Yeah.
I'll just say that, the opposite.
Yeah. And I get caught in it sometimes. You know, there's a part of me that's a fiery, impetuous, half Italian that, you know, sometimes gets my blood boiling and gets swept away in a bit, but less often than I used to.
Same here. Well, I got 8, 9, 12 different things in me, so I can't. I don't know what side.
Yeah. I'm like that as well. I've got one side's one thing, the other side's a bit of everything. Well, a bit of enough. So, yeah.
Well, I guess it was really fun talking about all that stuff. I gotta get sleep soon.
Agreed. Yeah, you're going to be getting rather late, I imagine.
Let me see if I have one more thing. Oh, here's one. I think I read this before. Um, yeah, full blood lords with dull swords, unable to cut the cords. Yeah. Remember the alien stands alone?
Yes,
The alien
that was
stands
great.
alone again. The alien stands alone again. Stood under mist for many years. Held in his fist the one-eyed farmer fears. A very long list, a history of tears. Did his best to hide him, drank too many beers. Thought demons were inside him, better get the hell out of here. Book smart, heaven bent, didn't know what hell meant. Believing in things misrepresented, hardened in the mind and became cemented. Twisted words of men had been invented, then he became demented. How should he believe? How should he be thinking? His communication started shrinking. All because of his illegal thinking. And now he's free like never before. He broke down the door. Spending your time being offended. Life's on hold. It's been suspended, stuck in a mold. Never knew he pretended. Now the alien stands by the wayside on the narrow road while they walk the wide, knowing he will never ride the invisible ship they pride. He's satisfied. No longer does he hide. The alien stands in the wayside.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's
I
brilliant.
love that one. I love that one.
I must admit the correlation between the invisible ship and the mothership being contacted wasn't lost on me then as you were talking. I'm like, I wonder if we're talking about a similar thing. Well, I dare say we are. I really like that one. I really like that one. And I particularly loved you reading it rhythmically in a rocking chair. It just worked on that whole other level.
Yeah, fooled by the lords with dull swords, they were unable to cut the cords. That was another line. And what do you think that means? Fooled by the lords with dull swords, they were unable to cut the cords.
Well, dull swords would potentially be the pens that they've used to misinterpret the information over time, and because of that, and they're actually not. That would be one view of that. That could be taken many ways too, because the sword analogy can be used to feed yourself or to fight as well. But if you've got a dull sword and you don't have the right tools, then you can't free yourself from that as well.
Yeah, and here's another thing. See, the lords are the owners, and the dull swords, they dull your swords with words that they make. They make you words.
Yep.
And when they make you words, they control you, and you're unable to cut the cords. And that's why we have dull swords, because we believe they're words.
Yep. And that's, we also talk about being dull diamonds too, and that's part of it too, because we've let our edges get dull, and it's trying to let that shine again in some ways.
That's a good one too. That's coming from a whole nother angle, Violet.
There you go.
I really liked when I did this one, because I mean it's all right there. You see, the alien stands by the wayside on the narrow road while they walk the wide. But how can that be true? I mean, wasn't the alien on the wide and they were on the straight and narrow, weren't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it wasn't. Really, the alien was walking the straight and narrow, you see?
Yep, correct.
Because truth pointed out like an arrow, the road less traveled was the straight and narrow. That's what truth pointed out.
Yep. And it's the hard road too. It's not the easy one. And most people automatically go for the easiest option and expect people to explain it as they go. It don't work that way.
I used to see that everybody that didn't think like me, they're on the wide road. They're on the wide road. But if they'd all come over and live like I was living, then they'd be on the narrow road. And I never understood that. Yeah. When I was going through one of my drinking binges, very good counselor, she was, Evelyn, and she said, read The Road Less Traveled. And I did. I read that book, The Road Less Traveled. I never knew why did she want me to read The Road Less Traveled. And it was about learning how to be yourself.
Yeah. Yep.
And that was the challenge.
Yeah.
And that was the narrow road.
Yep.
So,
Yep. The path to self.
yeah. And somehow that is damned when it's really the way that he said to go.
Yeah.
But it gets twisted. Knowing he will never ride the invisible ship they pride. So, what do you
Yeah.
think the invisible ship is?
Well,
How
the
you,
invisible ship could be many things. So that
yeah,
could be viewed as, well, you could view it from a simple analogy of Noah's Ark all the way back to the combined Trinity that can take you back. Whatever the vessel they tell you that you need to ride to get to that
exactly.
conditioned place of society.
Exactly.
Um, yeah,
The invisible ship is what you said. However, they compartmentalize for you.
yeah.
We made the ship for you. Here it is. Get in the ship. You got to ride this ship. We made it. We made sure it was the right ship for you. Get in. The only
No,
ship
it
you can ride. Yeah.
no, it doesn't come in purple. Sorry.
They would say, no, you're not allowed to have gay ship. That would be a gay ship, wouldn't it? No, it wouldn't be. It'd be
I
something like
know,
that.
right?
You know what I mean? So, not necessarily. He's speaking truth. He's satisfied. No longer does he run and hide. The alien stands in the wayside.
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
I better get something to eat because it's been like 14 hours since I've eaten. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
That's a good effort. And I must admit, my body's telling me I need to eat too at the moment.
Oh, we had a blast, though. I had a blast with you.
Yeah, likewise. Likewise, we got to be in a different lounge room.
Is anybody even watching?
I think we do. I think we've got a couple of people have been dropping in and out. So I know a few people have gone off to bed. But that's the beauty of it, and I've thoroughly enjoyed the conversation. So
All right, I'm going to get going. Good night, and thank you very much.
awesome.
All right.
Thanks, love. And you have a good one. And I hope you wake up feeling a little bit more limber in the morning as well.
Thanks. We'll get back to you. Have a good one.
Sounds good. Bye, love.
Okay.
Hello. Okay. So on that note, everyone, I'm going to call it here. It's been a really good chat and I've had a lot of fun. So thank you all very much for joining me. We'll meet again for some more chat and song. And until then, I hope you're all well with silver linings and some random delights. Bye.